With a thought, a trace of blood-red power from the third bloodline flowed into the 9 dragons' bodies, causing a layer of blood-red fluorescence to appear on the bodies of the 9 dragons. Boom. Boom. The 9 dragon steps were aimed at one of the Grim Reapers. With 7 steps, the Grim Reapers exploded. The divine dragon wagged its tail and unleashed the might of the prison-suppressing heavenly art. The other death god was also crushed. The 9 dragons slithered up and pounced toward the other 2 Grim Reapers. Enveloped by the devouring power of the 9 dragons, Dark Child felt his blood essence, vital essence, and bloodline power all become unstable. His strength was greatly affected. On the other hand, Lu Ming had used all his strength and performed the blood meridian fusion. He was stronger than before. The situation was reversed and Lu Ming had the upper hand. However, Dark Child was not willing to lose just like that. He did his best to fight Lu Ming. However, after a few moves, another death god was defeated, and as time passed, more and more death gods were defeated. After dozens of moves, only the Grim Reaper was left on the platform. Bang! After being struck by the 9 dragons' claw, the death god's body retreated frantically. So strong. Everyone was shocked. After Lu Ming's blood meridian erupted, his combat strength had increased by a notch and he had completely surpassed Dark Child. Bloodline of the 9 dragons, one of the top 10 battle beasts. Interesting. On the side of the platform, Long Chen, who had been unmoved all this time, suddenly had a shocking light in his eyes. He muttered something to himself but no one heard him. Thump. Boom. The 9 dragons stepped on the air and pounced toward the last death god. Bang. Although the death god tried its best to resist, it was already an arrow at the end of its flight. How could it stop Lu Ming? His body exploded, revealing Dark Child's true body. His face was pale as his figure flashed backward rapidly. The 9 dragons pursued. Dark Child's expression changed. Finally, he sighed and retreated from the platform. Leaving the platform could be considered as admitting defeat. He knew that there was no need to continue fighting. He could only admit defeat. Seeing that Dark Child had admitted defeat, the 9 dragons' body shrank rapidly. The next moment, a handsome young man appeared on the platform. This was Lu Ming's original appearance. It was also the appearance he had used when he was using the name Lu Shaoqing. At this moment, almost everyone's eyes were on Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's you. The patriarch of the Wang family roared in anger. His killing intent was extremely strong, and his body emitted a powerful aura. What are you doing? Shut up. A cold shout rang in the ears of the master of the Wang family, causing him to tremble and his aura to weaken rapidly. This was the voice of an emperor. All the emperors had gathered here, and the emperor had yet to speak. Was it his turn to unleash his killing intent? Lu Ming. The emperor god clenched his fists so tightly that his veins were bulging. The people of the Empyrean Divine Palace were truly shocked and surprised. They did not understand why Lu Ming would appear here. Lu Ming, it's really him. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Shui Jianyi Shizhan Ao2, and Feng Xian of the Heavenly Corpse sect all sighed in disbelief. Their gazes were complicated. It had been almost 2 years since the Battle of Providence. In the past 2 years they had been improving, but Lu Ming's improvement was even more shocking. He had already left them far behind. Even the top paragons of the Divine Wilderness continent had been defeated by Lu Ming. He was already standing at the peak of the Divine Wilderness continent's younger generation. As for them, they were still far from it. Is he really Lu Ming? I can't believe there's such a terrifying heaven's favorite in the East continent. Someone in the crowd said with a complicated voice. The Eastern Barren territory had always been the weakest. Previously, everyone had said that only the Emperor God was decent and that the other geniuses of the Eastern Barren territory were not worth mentioning. However, Lu Ming had emerged and suppressed everyone. He was destined to enter the top 3. So, he is Lu Ming. At this moment, those who had been defeated by Lu Ming previously, such as Lu Yusin, Shidu, and the 3-headed Hellhound, were mumbling in low voices. No one knew what thoughts flashed in their minds. Chapter 1131. 1131 Lu Ming's request. All eyes were on Lu Ming. All kinds of thoughts flashed through their minds, but most of them were exclaiming in admiration at Lu Ming's ability. Brother Lu, you've kept us in the dark for so long. Outside the platform, Goddess Tan Xiang spoke in a strange tone. I'm sorry, Fairy. Lu Ming has no other choice. Lu Ming cupped his fists and his voice spread throughout the entire area. Since he had been exposed, he should admit it. It seems that it's a great era now. Even the East Baron has someone like Lu Ming. That's right. It's a golden age. No territory can be underestimated. It's possible for extraordinary geniuses to appear. Someone sighed. Lu Ming's battle results were too dazzling. Previously, Lu Shaoqing's name had already shaken the entire central continent. Recently, he had even transformed into the commander of the law enforcement army and defeated Lu Yusin, the Divine Emperor, Lion City, the three-headed Hellhound, and Dark Child in succession. 3 of them were heaven's favorites of the big shots. This battle record was too brilliant. Lu Ming from the East Baron. His powerful devouring power should be the talent of the 9 dragons. Blood Luo Zi stared at Lu Ming, his eyes flickering. No one knew what he was thinking. At the same time, many experts of the heavenly martial sword faction had killing intent flashing in their eyes. However, in such a situation no one dared to show it. Boom. Boom. At this moment, a violent roar from the platform finally pulled everyone back from their thoughts. They shifted their gaze away from Lu Ming. The battle between the unscrupulous monk and Yang Padian had also reached its final stage. In the end, Yang Padian was no match for the monk. After exchanging 100 moves, he was still defeated by the monk and thrown off the platform. At this point, the top 3 were born. They were Long Qin, Lu Ming, and the Heartless Monk. Many people were looking forward to it. Right now, each of the 3 of them was terrifyingly strong and unfathomable. Long Qin had always been the strongest heaven's favorite. He was the first to become a spirit god and was unrivaled among his peers. Just now, he had defeated Tuoba Shur with a single punch, shocking everyone. The unscrupulous monk, the strange holy monk of the western desert, had defeated Yang Padian. He was always smiling and had a harmless look on his face, making people feel that he was unfathomable. Lu Ming could be considered the strongest dark horse this time. He had first transformed into Lu Shaoqing and the commander of the law enforcement army. Along the way he had defeated many experts and even a prodigy like Dark Child. His strength was unfathomable. Everyone was looking forward to the clash between the 3. What everyone was looking forward to was whether Lu Ming or the unscrupulous monk could force Long Qin to reveal his true strength. This was because no one knew how strong Long Qin was. My hair. The heartless monk chanted the name of Buddha and looked at Lu Ming. Ha, benefactor, so your name is Lu Ming. It's a pleasure to meet you. Monk, we've met several times. Lu Ming smiled. Ah, that's right. Almsgiver Lu's combat strength is so profound that it's really admirable. I didn't expect you to defeat Dark Child. I've had many battles with Dark Child in the past, but I couldn't defeat him. Since you can defeat him, I'm no match for you. I admit defeat. The monk chuckled and turned around. He left the platform in a carefree manner. The unscrupulous monk had admitted defeat. In this case, only Lu Ming and Long Qin were left. The bloodline of the 9 dragons? Interesting. I'd like to see the power of the bloodline of the 9 dragons. Long Qin, who had been silent all this while, finally spoke. He looked at Lu Ming with a hint of anticipation in his eyes. This kind of anticipation was like the anticipation of someone who had been invincible for too long and had no opponents. That's right, Long Qin had been invincible for far too long. He was unrivaled among the younger generation. He needed an opponent and he desired one. Without a doubt in his heart, Lu Ming could possibly be his opponent. This wasn't arrogance but his true thoughts. I want to fight with you. Unfortunately, I'm not interested in the first place. After saying that, Lu Ming moved and floated off the platform. Lu Ming's goal was to come in second or third. He did not want to come in first at all. The winner would have to marry Xian Yanlin. Lu Ming only wanted the second or third place and the Sacred Emperor to agree to one condition. Lu Ming actually admitted defeat. What a pity. What a pity. Many people sighed. They had thought that they would be able to see a peak battle, but the result was unexpected. First, the unscrupulous monk admitted defeat. Then Lu Ming also admitted defeat. Thus the competition was over. Alright, the competition ends here. Long Qin has won first place. He will be engaged to my daughter, Xian Yanlin, soon. Xie Qitian stood up and announced. Besides Xie Qitian, Xian Yanlin was smiling happily. On the platform, Long Qin turned to look at Xian Yanlin with a smile on his face. Not many people knew that Long Qin and Xian Yanlin had long since developed feelings for each other and were secretly dating. The competition this time was just a formality. Xie Yinlin, Xie Qitian, and the others all knew that Long Chen would take first place without a doubt. No one could defeat him. Xie Qitian could also take this opportunity to establish a good relationship with the various overlord forces, killing two birds with one stone. From now on, the Heavenly Sun Palace and the royal Xie family will be married. The royal family will become even more powerful. Someone sighed in the dark. Long Chen was from the Heavenly Sun Palace, an extremely powerful overlord force. With Long Chen and Xian Yinlin's union, the two forces would definitely have to work together in the future. There are many heaven's favorites in the royal family. Xian Yinjuan, Xian Yinlin, Xie Yin, all of them are top heaven's favorites. Is the royal family going to return to glory? The royal family is indeed powerful. In the future they will have a marriage alliance with the Sun Sky Palace and gather the two strongest heaven's favorites. It is indeed possible for them to rise. However, the other forces may not let them rise as they wish. In the dark, some people were whispering to each other. The marriage between the imperial family and the Heavenly Sun Palace had a far-reaching impact. Also, Lu Ming, the heartless holy monk. Xie Qitian's gaze shifted to Lu Ming and the heartless monk. The two of them flew up to the platform and saluted Xie Qitian. I'll agree to one condition for the second and third place. What do you want? Lu Ming, you go first. Xie Qitian's gaze shifted to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. They had finally arrived. He had been waiting for this moment. The masters of the Wang family, the Jianghu family, the Divine Emperor, and the others were all on tenterhooks. If Lu Ming suggested that the Sacred Emperor protect him against Di, it would be troublesome. Di could not do anything against the ancient sacred dynasty. Sage Emperor, Lu Ming has nothing else to ask of you. I only ask that you set Nianqing free. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, What? Xie Qitian frowned. At the scene the others were also stunned. They had thought that Lu Ming would ask for some peerless cultivation technique, martial arts technique, or treasure from the royal family. They had never expected that Lu Ming would make such a request to the Sage Emperor. Chapter 1132. 1132 Chapter 1132 Berating the Sage Emperor. Everyone did not expect that Lu Ming's request was to set one person free. Nianqing? Who was it? Many people were curious. This name is very similar to the two princesses. It said that there's a little princess in the royal family who has a different bloodline from the royal family. Could it be that Lu Ming is talking about this little princess? Someone guessed. In the end, many people sighed. It was not worth it for Lu Ming to put forward this condition. He had wasted a great opportunity. However, Lu Ming's gaze was firm. In his heart, this was the most important thing. The masters of the Wang and Jiang families, the Divine Emperor, and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. They were really afraid that Lu Ming would ask Xie Qitian to protect him. Haha, how stupid. The patriarch of the Wang clan laughed in his heart. Lu Ming, don't be delusional. Xian Yinqing is a weirdo. You want to set her free? What a joke. Also, back in the Nine Dragon City of the East Continent, it was you who repeatedly obstructed us and even injured my royal family members. Today you still dare to say such words. You're really audacious. Xie Zhen stood up and looked at Lu Ming coldly as he berated him loudly. What? How dare you hurt someone from the royal family? Lu Ming, you first sneaked into the law enforcement army and deliberately destroyed the relationship between the royal family and the other overlord forces. What are your intentions? A middle-aged man stood up and said coldly. Lu Ming recognized him. He was the imperial uncle who had appeared in the Hall of Justice when Lu Ming was confronting the elder of the Heaven Martial Sword faction, Xie Qiu. Because of Lu Ming, their relationship with the Heaven's Martial Sword faction had worsened, forcing Xie Qiu to show up. He was already unhappy with Lu Ming and now he naturally came out to berate him. It's indeed the little princess of the imperial family, that mutant. Xie Zhen's words made everyone's heart skip a beat. But how did Lu Ming get to know that little princess? It seemed that in the East Wilderness the imperial family had suffered at the hands of Lu Ming. This Lu Ming was really a monster. Lu Ming cast a cold glance at Xie Zhen and Xie Qiu, then ignored them and faced the Sage Emperor. Saint Emperor, you said before that if you could place in the top 3, you would be able to raise a condition. My condition is to set Nianqing free. I don't need anything else, nor do I have to enter the ancient hall. Lu Ming stood straight, neither servile nor overbearing, and his gaze was firm. Xie Qitian's brows furrowed even more and his face turned cold. Lu Ming, this won't do. You'd better change your condition. His tone was filled with an unquestionable tone. Xie Qitian's meaning was already very clear. That was impossible. However, Lu Ming would not give up just like that. Sage Emperor, why don't you let him go? Is it because Nianqing's bloodline is different from the rest of the imperial family? Could it be that only those with pure bloodlines were members of the Xie family? Wouldn't the Xie family be inclined towards the dark bloodline? Please forgive this junior's foolish opinion, but this way of thinking is too pedantic. Lu Ming's voice spread throughout the entire venue and everyone quieted down. Almost everyone looked at Lu Ming in shock. How bold of Lu Ming to speak to the Sage Emperor in such a manner. Even a fool could tell that Lu Ming was implying that the Sage Emperor was pedantic. Audacious, he was truly audacious. Even the other kings would not dare to speak to Xie Qitian in such a manner. Lu Ming's words were simply too shocking. How dare you? How dare you? Lu Ming, you lowly ant. How dare you speak to my father like that? You're courting death. Xie Zhen roared. He deserves to die 10,000 times and his entire clan should be exterminated. Xie Qiyu shouted coldly. Although his words were short, his killing intent was soaring. Xie Qitian did not say a word. He was still frowning and no one knew what he was thinking. Lu Ming continued to ignore Xie Zhen and Xie Qitian. He did not even look at them and continued to face Xie Qitian. Bloodline is just a tool for martial artists. It depends on how you use it. If you use it well, it's good. If you don't use it well, it's not good. The key is still the person who uses it. Lu Ming's voice was loud and clear, neither servile nor overbearing. He had no fear and argued strongly. Ridiculous. That's nonsense. Xie Nianqing is of a foreign bloodline. She's a rebel. If we let her go, she would have turned against us. Xie Zhen continued to berate him. Haha, what a joke. What is a rebellious bloodline? Back then, wasn't the chaotic heavens divine warrior forced out? If the entire imperial family treated him equally, without any humiliation or oppression, why would he have betrayed us? Lu Ming laughed heartily. As soon as he said that, everyone was shocked. Boom, boom, boom. In the imperial family, a terrifying aura suddenly burst out. A cold killing intent enveloped Lu Ming. Audacious fanatic, you're courting death. He should be killed. Heinous crimes. One after another, howls sounded out as the powerful existences were enraged. Their terrifying auras filled the sky as if the world was about to be destroyed. Endless pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. There were many supreme beings among them. Boom. Lu Ming used all his strength to resist, but he was still suppressed by the pressure. His body trembled and he retreated rapidly, a mouthful of blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. The chaotic heavens divine warrior was a taboo of the royal family. Lu Ming had actually dared to mention it on such an occasion. He had touched the royal family's sore spot. Sage Emperor, there's an ancient saying that a sovereign cannot be ridiculed. Moreover, you are the Sage Emperor. Are you going to go back on your word? Lu Ming shouted. He had already come this far today and there was no way out. Lu Ming had nothing to fear. He could only move forward bravely. When I said I would agree to one condition, I meant that it was something I could do, said Xie Qitian. What's so difficult about my conditions? Moreover, Nianqing is your daughter, your biological daughter. Did you give birth to her just to lock her up for the rest of her life? Lu Ming shouted. The vital essence in his body circulated crazily and the five-colored will enveloped his body to resist the pressure that was pressing on him. Impudent. Men, kill this person. Xie Zhen roared. His killing intent was boundless, and his face revealed a ferocious expression. Back in Nine Dragons, he had gone there as the prince of the ancient Saint dynasty. He should have been high and mighty, but Lu Ming had defeated him in front of everyone, embarrassing him. He had always harbored a grudge against Lu Ming. Even after such a long time, he had not forgotten about it. Now that he had such an opportunity, he naturally could not wait to cut Lu Ming into 1,000 pieces. Kill? 2 guards in iron armor shouted. A terrifying aura burst out as they stepped forward to kill Lu Ming. Everyone sighed and thought that Lu Ming was definitely going to die today. It was such a pity to lose such a prodigy. All right, I'm done. At this moment, Xie Qitian spoke indifferently and waved his hand. The 2 guards immediately stopped, and the other members of the imperial family also retracted their auras. Lu Ming felt his body relax and he heaved a sigh of relief. Lu Ming, I'm an emperor and I'm a man of my word. However, your condition is an important matter for the royal family, and I can't agree to it so easily. How about this? Nianqing is now in the Abyss Demon territory, fighting for the royal family and killing the Masha clan. If you're willing to enter the Abyss Demon territory and kill the Masha clan, once you've killed enough Masha clan members and accumulated enough achievements for the royal family, I'll let you leave together. Xie Qiqian muttered to himself. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Xie Qiqian's words meant that he had already given in. Chapter 1133. 1133 Entering the Abyss Demonic Realm. Is the Sage Emperor's words true? Lu Ming stared at Xie Qiqian. I'm a man of my word. Anyone who enters the Abyss Demon territory and kills the Masha clan will be rewarded with points. As long as you can get 10,000 points, I promise to let you two leave together and never interfere with Nianqing's affairs again, Xie Qiqian said. All right, I agree, Lu Ming said. Lu Ming believed that Xie Qiqian would not go back on his word in front of so many emperors and people. Lu Ming was clear that it would not be easy to go to the Abyss Demon territory to hunt down the Masha clan. However, there was still hope. Moreover, his identity had been exposed. Di would probably find out soon. Entering the Abyss Demon territory, not only could he find Xian Yanqing, but he could also avoid Di for the time being. For Lu Ming, it was killing two birds with one stone. At this moment, the eyes of Xie Zhen, Xie Qiu and the others flickered. They did not say anything and it was unknown what they were thinking. Alright, it's settled then. After the banquet is over, I'll ask someone to take you to the demon realm of Tartarus, Xie Qiqian said. Immediately after, Xie Qiqian asked the unscrupulous monk about his conditions. The unscrupulous monk was very smart. He said that he would not mention it for the time being and would mention it in the future. Good. 3 days from now, the top 10 will be able to enter the ancient hall of the Saint Emperor to comprehend the Tao, Xie Qiqian announced, and the banquet continued. The banquet lasted for half a day before it ended. The overlord forces began to leave one by one. The masters of the Wang family, the Jiang family, and the Divine Emperor also left in a hurry. They had to rush back to the East Baron to report to Di about Lu Ming. It was too strange. Lu Ming was still in the Talisman Amulet sect. How did he suddenly appear in the Central Continent and now he was going to enter the Abyss Demon realm? Di had to know about this as soon as possible. Soon everyone dispersed. Lu Ming, come with us. The two guards in metal armor came to Lu Ming and said coldly. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the two of them and realized that he could not see through their cultivation at all. Their cultivation was unfathomable. To the Abyss Demon territory? Lu Ming said. That's right. The Sage Emperor ordered us to take you to the Abyss Demonic Realm. The entrance to the Abyss Demonic Realm is to the north of the Holy City, one of the armored guards said. Please? Lu Ming nodded. The two armored guards took the lead and Lu Ming followed behind. They headed north of the Holy City. Not long after, they arrived at the northern side of the Holy City. After passing through layers and layers of barriers, they came to a huge door of light. Along the way, Lu Ming did a quick calculation. They had passed a total of 18 checkpoints. Each checkpoint had an extremely powerful array and was guarded by powerful experts. It could be seen that the imperial family placed great importance on this place. This is the entrance to the Abyss Demon realm. Take this jade token. As long as you kill a Fiend clan member in the Abyss Demon realm, the jade token will sense it and you will get the corresponding points. One of the armored guards introduced. However, there was a hint of a cold smile in the depths of his eyes. Many thanks. Lu Ming took the jade card and kept it. All right, let's go in, one of the guards said. Lu Ming nodded and turned around. He stepped into the door of light and disappeared. Hee, you want to get 10,000 points in the Abyss Demon realm? Dream on. Stay there for the rest of your life. The Sage Emperor's move is truly brilliant. The two guards sneered, then turned around and strode away. At this moment in the palace, Xie Zhen and Xie Qiu were sitting opposite each other in a hall. Imperial Brother's move is indeed brilliant. Not only did you shut Lu Ming's mouth, but you also fulfilled your promise. I'm really impressed. Xie Qiu took a sip of the spirit tea and smiled. It's almost impossible to kill the Mo Sha in the Abyss Demon territory and get 10,000 points. But I still feel uneasy. Xie Zhen frowned. That bitch Xian Yanqing is too talented. He's no weaker than the top figures. Moreover, he has awakened a dark-type bloodline. He's like a fish in water in the abyss demon territory. He can still cultivate and improve his cultivation. As for that Lu Ming, he's even more shocking. 3 years ago he was only at the Sea of Souls realm, and his cultivation was lower than mine. However, in just a short 3 years, his cultivation has soared to the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm. His combat strength is even more shocking, and he has defeated many big shots and geniuses in a row. In my opinion, no one can suppress him except Long Chen. I can't rest easy as long as such a person is alive. You want to kill him in the abyss demon realm? Xie Tianyu said. That's right. However, although this Lu Ming's cultivation is only at the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm, his combat strength is too terrifying. I'm afraid that even an ordinary 6th level spiritual god is not his match. To kill him, we'll have to mobilize a 7th level spiritual god or even stronger existence. However, with my authority, I can't mobilize such a strong existence. Therefore, I'll need Imperial Uncle's help. Xie Jin said. You're right. We can't let Lu Ming live. We should take this opportunity to kill Xian Yanqing and the other mutant. Xie Qiyu's face revealed a cold smile. Many thanks, Imperial Uncle. Xie Jin was overjoyed as he thanked him. After Lu Ming stepped into the door of light, he stepped out from another door of light. Where is this place? Lu Ming swept his gaze and realized that he had already arrived at another place. This place seemed to be a city. Above the city, there was a huge light shield that covered the entire city, making it impossible to see the scene outside the light shield. Is this the abyss demon territory? Lu Ming's heart stirred. Another person has come. A voice was heard from the side. Lu Ming saw a few burly men in armor. Big brothers, is this the abyss demon territory? Lu Ming went forward and asked. That's right. This is the abyss demon territory. We're from the royal family, and we're responsible for guarding this city and preventing the Fiend clan from attacking the exit here. Why have you come here? One of the burly men explained and asked. I'm here to hunt down the Mo Sha clan and obtain points. Lu Ming said, but he did not tell the truth. Another exiles. Upon hearing Lu Ming's words, the few burly men's faces turned cold and they sneered. Exiles? Lu Ming frowned. All right, you can stay in this city for the night. The moon is high in the sky now and the demonic qi is at its strongest. In order to prevent the demonic qi from seeping in, the city is now tightly closed and will not open. You can leave the city tomorrow. A man in armor waved his hand and said. Lu Ming nodded. He did not ask further and left the place in big strides. Not long after, Lu Ming came to a street and realized that there were quite a lot of people here. However, every one of them had an extremely strong aura and were all experts. With a sweep of his spiritual sense, he found that there were many spiritual god realm existences. These people were all sent by the imperial family to guard this place. Lu Ming walked around and asked around. Indeed, he could not leave the city now. He had to wait until tomorrow. Lu Ming casually found a quiet place and sat cross-legged, waiting quietly. More than an hour after Lu Ming had entered the place, the door of light in the abyss demon territory flashed and 4 elders appeared. Chapter 1134. 1134 8th level spiritual god realm expert. As soon as the 4 old men appeared, a terrifying aura emanated from their bodies, causing the expressions of the armored men to change. You guys, what are you talking about? One of the armored men asked. One of the old men waved his hand and a token appeared in his hand. When the armored men saw the token, they immediately straightened their bodies and showed a respectful expression. So it's you, sirs, may I know why you've come? One of the armored men asked carefully. Was there a young man who entered earlier? The old man with the token asked. My lord, are you referring to the exiles? He came in about an hour ago, so he should be somewhere in the city now. The armored man replied respectfully. Somewhere in the city. The 4 old men nodded and left. Time flew by and in the blink of an eye, it was the 2nd day. Lu Ming flew toward the city wall. Those who want to leave the city, hurry up and leave the city. At the city gate, a burly man in battle armor shouted. At this moment, the city gate had already opened up to a gap that could only allow one person to pass through. From the opening, black mist spread in. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he rushed out of the opening. Is this the abyss demon territory? After rushing out of the city, the light suddenly dimmed. The light between heaven and earth was very dim, and there was a black mist floating between heaven and earth. The entire land was dark. He raised his head and saw a sun in the sky. However, the sun was also dark and seemed very oppressive. This place is filled with dense demonic qi, but there's no spiritual qi of heaven and earth here. Lu Ming sensed and realized that there was no spiritual energy in this world. Instead, it was filled with thick demonic energy. It would be very difficult for ordinary warriors to cultivate here. Because there was no spiritual qi of heaven and earth, they could only absorb demonic qi and refine it. However, the difficulty of refining demonic qi was tens or even hundreds of times more difficult than refining spiritual qi of heaven and earth. However, it did not matter to Lu Ming. He had the 9 dragons' bloodline and could devour and refine everything. He could also quickly refine the demonic qi. Little Qing, where are you? Lu Ming looked into the distance. His body moved and he turned into a ray of light that rushed forward. Not long after Lu Ming disappeared, 4 elders rushed out of the city behind him. Their expressions changed and they chased after Lu Ming. Lu Ming walked forward and sized up the Abyss demon territory. The demon realm of the Abyss was vast and boundless, with mountains, rivers, and everything. It was said that it was an extremely large mid-plane that automatically evil-levered into a boundless world. There were countless living beings and plants here. Most of the plants were black or dark red. There were also powerful demonic beasts here. However, these demonic beasts were born from absorbing demonic qi and were called demonic beasts. They had low intelligence but they were very powerful. Of course, the ruler of the Abyss demon territory was the Masha clan. It was said that the Fiend clan was a large clan in the Divine Wilderness continent long ago. They occupied a large territory, but were later defeated by the human race and escaped to the Abyss demon territory. However, they were still very powerful and would often attack the ancient Saint Dynasty Xie clan. Therefore, the royal family had sent an army to guard the entrance. Moreover, the Fiend clan was extremely cunning. They could fly in the sky and burrow underground in the 9 Abyss demon territory, so it was very difficult to kill them. Although the royal family and the Xie family would send experts to kill them every once in a while, they could not kill all of them. They were a big threat to the royal family. There was also a rumor that the reason why the Chaotic Heavens divine warrior Xie Luan was able to launch a rebellion and inflict heavy losses on the royal Xie clan was because he had the help of the devil clan of the demon realm. Whoosh! All of a sudden, a black ray of light shot out from a mountain peak below at an astonishing speed, heading straight for Lu Ming. What? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He stretched out 2 fingers and flicked them accurately at the dark light, sending it flying. This is the Devil Clan? Lu Ming looked at the creature that attacked him. It was a human-shaped living being that was 2 heads shorter than Lu Ming. This living being was covered in black hair and had a pair of wings on its back. On the wings there were sharp black bone spikes. It was the same bone spike that had stabbed him just now. Furthermore, this living being had a mouth full of fangs and an extremely ferocious appearance, just like the Azuras in the legends. This was the Mo-Sha clan. Human kill? The Masha clansman howled. He held a black bone spur in his hand. He flapped his wings and charged at Lu Ming at top speed. The bone spur in his hand was like a sharp sword. This Mo-Sha clan was equivalent to a human martial artist of the 5th level of the spirit embryo realm. Lu Ming waved his hand and a spear's gleam appeared. It flashed and disappeared like a bolt of lightning, flying out and killing the Fiend clan member. Then a jade card appeared in Lu Ming's hand. However, there was no reaction from the jade token. Didn't they say that killing a Mo-Sha would give the corresponding points? Why is there no reaction? Lu Ming furrowed his eyebrows slightly. Then he flew closer to the corpse of the Mo-Sha, but there was still no reaction. No points appeared at all. What's going on? Lu Ming's frown deepened. Not good, Lu Ming. There are a few powerful beings flying over at high speed from the distance. They're coming from the direction of the city you came from. Dandan, who had just arrived in the Abyss demon realm, crawled out and suddenly shouted. How many powerful existences are there? Could it be that you're also here to hunt down the Mo-Sha clan? Lu Ming muttered and looked in that direction. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 4 rainbow lights streaked across the sky and flew over at an extreme speed, bringing with them a rumbling sonic boom. When he saw Lu Ming, his eyes suddenly lit up, and a cold killing intent filled the air. There's killing intent, he's here to kill me. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he retreated without hesitation. Lu Ming, die. A black-robed elder roared, his voice shaking the firmament. A Silavira combat sword was unsheathed from his back. Esilavira's sword light illuminated the dark abyss demon territory, splitting the sky. The terrifying sword chi instantly crossed the distance of hundreds of miles and slashed toward Lu Ming. Not good. This is the 8th level of the spiritual god realm. Lu Ming was shocked. The power of this sword was too terrifying, incomparably terrifying, as if it could destroy everything. Furthermore, it was so fast that Lu Ming did not even have the time to perform the blood meridian fusion. He could only burst out the 7 rays of dragon energy from the 9 dragons' blood meridian and fuse them into his body. At the same time, the space between his eyebrows glowed and the small red pagoda appeared. It expanded rapidly and blocked in front of Lu Ming. Clang! The Esilavira's sword gleam slashed at the red tower. The terrifying force sent the red tower flying and crashed into Lu Ming. Lu Ming and the red tower were like 2 cannonballs flying backward. Boom! Lu Ming crashed into a mountain peak, breaking the peak of the mountain. His body flew back a few miles before stopping in the air, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming was injured in one move. Chapter 1135. 1135 Chapter 1135 Endless Killing Intent. Bus. Whoosh. The 4 elders appeared around Lu Ming and surrounded him. Their terrifying auras bloomed without any concealment, forming a terrifying pressure that pressed down on him. 2 were at the 7th level of the spiritual god realm, and 2 were at the 8th level of the spiritual god realm. Lu Ming could sense the strength of the 4 people. The royal Xie family is truly despicable. Lu Ming wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and revealed a mocking smile. To be able to enter this place to kill him, other than the royal family and the Xie family, there would not be a second force. He didn't need to guess to know that these 4 people were definitely sent by the royal family's Xie family. Lu Ming had not expected the royal Xie family, the royal family of the ancient Saint dynasty, to be so despicable. He promised him in front of others, but secretly sent people to kill him. Moreover, they really thought highly of him, sending 2 7th-level spiritual gods and 2 8th-level spiritual gods. This kind of person was considered a high-level spiritual god. Even among the various forces he was considered a top expert. Those who were able to cultivate to the 7th tier of the spiritual god realm and above were not weak in their talents. Generally, it would be difficult for those with 2nd or 3rd level divine level bloodlines to cultivate to the 7th tier of the spiritual god realm and above. Those who were able to reach the 7th tier of the spiritual god realm and above would usually awaken bloodlines that were 4th level divine level and above. There was no doubt that such a person had definitely mastered a god-level martial technique and was very powerful. Even with Lu Ming's combat strength, it would not be a problem for him to defeat or even kill an expert at the 6th level of the spiritual god realm. However, he would definitely not be a match for an expert at the 7th level of the spiritual god realm. Not to mention the existence of an 8th level spiritual god. Facing an 8th level spiritual god, Lu Ming's chances of survival were slim. This time it was a sure kill. Impudent. The royal family is not something you can comment on. You want to save Xian Yanqing? What a wild dream. An elder in the 7th level of the spiritual god realm berated. A battle saber was suspended above his head, and a terrifying saber intent bloomed in the air. He acting one way in front of others and another way behind others. To do such a despicable and shameless thing, how can you have the face to be part of the royal family? No wonder the Xie family declined. Lu Ming sneered. How dare you? You're courting death. Everyone, you'll hold the line for me. Leave this kid to me. I'll kill him today. The old man with the floating saber shouted with a sharp killing intent. All right, I'll leave him to you. The elder at the 8th level of the spiritual god realm who had attacked earlier nodded and retreated with the other 2 people. They formed a huge encirclement, surrounding Lu Ming and his companion in the middle and blocking all of Lu Ming's escape routes. Buzz. The saber trembled as it was held by the old man. His eyes were filled with excitement and he said with a ferocious smile, Lu Ming, remember, the one who killed you is Xie. Buzz. The saber slashed down and the saber power filled the air. A vast and terrifying saber radiance slashed towards Lu Ming. The 3rd bloodline appeared above Lu Ming's head. A wisp of energy surged into Lu Ming's body, turning his long black hair blood red. At the same time, the 3rd bloodline squirmed and transformed into a long spear. Buzz. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand and swept it out, colliding with the saber gleam. Boom. The terrifying sound of the explosion spread thousands of miles away. Lu Ming's body trembled and he could not help but retreat. The 7th level spiritual god realm's combat strength is indeed terrifying. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. His combat strength at the 7th level of the spiritual god realm had completely surpassed Lu Ming. So what if you're a heaven's favorite whose name shakes the world? So what if he was a rare heaven's favorite? You're still going to die in my hands. Xie howled, his saber intent growing stronger as he charged at Lu Ming. 9 dragons appeared above Lu Ming's head. Lu Ming transformed into the 9 dragons. With the power of his 3rd bloodline, he launched a violent attack and fought Xie. Xie also used his bloodline fusion. Xie's bloodline was a 5th level divine level saber. Under the activation of his 7th level spiritual god cultivation, it was incomparably powerful. Lu Ming was completely suppressed. In the blink of an eye, dozens of moves had been exchanged and several saber wounds had appeared on the 9 dragons' body. This person's combat strength is truly astonishing. With his cultivation at the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm, he was actually able to fight with Xie for such a long time. It's simply unbelievable. An elder at the side said. Even though he was about to kill Lu Ming, he could not help but exclaim. In the spiritual god realm, it would be more difficult to fight across levels as one advanced. To be able to fight so many moves with a 7th level spiritual god realm expert with a cultivation of the 3rd level spiritual god realm was truly too shocking. It was simply inconceivable. They had lived for thousands of years, but this was the first time they had seen such a thing. This kid's talent is truly heaven-defying. In the divine wilderness continent, other than Long Chen, no one is his match. In time he will become a terrifying and invincible emperor. Unfortunately, this kid is too lawless. Only death awaits him. The other elder said. His voice was cold, but his eyes were filled with surprise. Brat, die. Xie roared, his battle prowess growing even more violent. After exchanging dozens of moves, he still could not kill Lu Ming. He felt very embarrassed and the killing intent in his heart grew stronger. Old man, you've cultivated for thousands of years and only have this little combat power. If I were you, I would have killed myself. Lu Ming spoke sarcastically, but he was rapidly thinking of a way to escape. The surroundings were sealed off by 3 powerhouses. It was too difficult to break through. The main thing was that the 8th level of the spiritual god realm was too powerful. If there were 4 7th level spiritual god realm existences, Lu Ming would have full confidence in breaking through with the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. However, with 2 8th level spiritual god realm existences, the chances of Lu Ming breaking through were very small. Brat, you think you're a genius? A dead genius is no genius. Let me tell you, after I kill you today, I'll go after Xianyanqing. If you want to leave, dream on. Xie coldly shouted, his attacks becoming even more violent. Boom. Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot as he bellowed, You still want to kill little Qin? That lowly beast should have died long ago. This time I'll take care of him as well. Xie sneered. You all deserve to die, kill. Kill, kill. Lu Ming let out a furious roar. His 3rd blood meridian trembled and wisps of energy surged towards Lu Ming, filling his heart with endless killing intent. Lu Ming's killing intent was already frighteningly intense when Xie said that they were going to kill Xianyanqing. Coupled with the power of his 3rd bloodline, there was only endless killing intent in his mind. Kid, stop. You can't use too much of your bloodline's power. Otherwise you'll become a puppet that only knows how to kill. Dandan called out to Lu Ming, allowing him to barely retain a trace of clarity. At this moment, Lu Ming's body seemed to be filled with infinite power. The 9 dragons emitted a thick blood-red color. Buzz. The 9 dragons swiped their claws at Xie. Not good, this strength. Xie's eyes widened in shock. In an instant, he felt the power in Lu Ming's body increase explosively, especially his killing intent. It was extremely terrifying, as if he wanted to kill all the living creatures in the world. It made his heart turn cold and he shivered. The claws of the 9 dragons clawed at him, and he seemed to be suffocating. Xie let out a hysterical roar and launched his most powerful attack to collide with the 9 dragons' dragon claws. Chapter 1136. 1136 Dandan's main body. Bang. Xie's body was sent flying as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was enveloped by endless killing intent and could not exert his full strength at all. In addition, Lu Ming had borrowed more power from the 3rd bloodline. With a full-force attack he had injured Xie. Then the 9 dragons let out a long roar and collapsed. However, in the light of the collapse of the 9 dragons, a huge stone tablet rushed out and bloomed with light. The bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was unleashed, it grew rapidly to the size of a mountain. The prison-suppressing steel was also filled with a thick blood-red light, which pressed down on Xie Yan with an immense force. Help! Xie shrieked in fear as he felt the terrifying killing intent and all-suppressing aura from the prison-suppressing steel. Stop! At the side, the other 3 experts shouted and rushed toward Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming did not care and continued to suppress Xie. No! Xie roared and used all his strength to resist. However, his current injuries had greatly reduced his combat strength, so how could he resist? As the prison-suppressing steel pressed down, Xie spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood vessels in his body burst, and in the next moment his entire body exploded with a bang. Xie, a 7th-level spiritual god realm expert, was killed by Lu Ming on the spot. Boom, boom, boom. At the same time, the other 3 attacks hit the prison-suppressing steel at the same time, sending it flying. It shook violently and almost collapsed. Kill, kill, kill. The prison-suppressing steel shook and Lu Ming's cold and emotionless voice kept coming out of it. The blood-red light filled the air. We can't let this kid live. An elder in the 8th level of the spiritual god realm spoke, his heart filled with shock. A 3rd-level spiritual god realm martial artist was actually able to kill a 7th-level spiritual god realm expert. It was too shocking and he had never heard of it. He felt a chill in his heart and was filled with the desire to kill Lu Ming. 2 of them were at the 8th level of the spiritual god realm, while the other was at the 7th level. Their bodies emitted a terrifying aura that locked onto Lu Ming. All of you will die today. Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. He wanted to borrow more power from the 3rd bloodline to kill these people. Lu Ming, you can't continue to borrow the power of your bloodline. Otherwise, it'll be difficult for you to maintain your consciousness. Dandan shouted. Kill, these people must be killed. Lu Ming shouted. At this moment, there was only a trace of clarity left in his mind. It was as if he would be devoured and drowned by endless killing intent at any moment. However, it was obviously not enough to kill an 8th-level spiritual god. He needed to borrow more power. However, once he borrowed more power, it would be difficult for Lu Ming to maintain the peace in his heart. He would definitely be devoured by the endless killing intent. But at this point, was there any other way? Lu Ming could only risk his life. Forget it, forget it. I'll risk my life for once. Boy, there's no need to continue borrowing power. Dandan heaved long sighs and flew away from Lu Ming toward the 3 experts. You 3 brats, you can die without regrets if you can witness my true power today. Dandan said. At this moment her body emitted a brilliant light, and a terrifying aura emanated from her body. This aura was high and mighty as if it was the master of the world, overlooking the endless lives of the world. It also seemed like the entire world. He was the world and the world was him. In the light, Dandan's body grew at a terrifying speed. Finally, it turned into a divine turtle that was as tall as the sky and larger than a mountain. This is... The 3 old men were shocked. They felt a fatal threat from the giant divine turtle. Die. A voice came out of the giant divine turtle's mouth. The giant turtle grabbed at the 7th-level spiritual god realm expert. The 7th-level spiritual god realm expert wanted to dodge, but he realized that he couldn't move his body. He was imprisoned there as if he was locked in a world. No. Die. He roared. He watched as the huge claw slammed down and his entire body exploded. Not good, let's go. The remaining 2 8th-level spiritual god realm experts roared in horror. They wanted to escape, but their bodies seemed to have sunk into quagmire, and it was extremely difficult for them to move. Kill? Kill. The giant tortoise spat out the word. 2 beams of light shot out from its mouth and pierced through the 2 elders in the 8th level of the spiritual god realm, killing them. The 2 8th-level spiritual god realm experts had died just like that. Even though Lu Ming was filled with endless killing intent, he was still dumbfounded. After killing the 3 experts, the giant turtle rapidly shrank and turned back into a small turtle. It lay in the air weakly and shouted, "What a loss, what a loss. I've accumulated so much energy for so long and it's almost all used up in a short while. Lu Ming, you must stay with me, stay with me." Dandan shouted and floated weakly to Lu Ming. Let's go. Lu Ming's mind barely had a trace of clarity. At this moment he waved his hand and stored Dandan and the two 8th level spiritual god realm experts' corpses into the mountain and river diagram. His body moved and he left the place. The great disturbance here would definitely alert the experts in the city, so they had to leave as soon as possible. Lu Ming turned into a ray of blood-red light and traversed the vast land. Soon he appeared 1,000,000 miles away. He found a hidden place and entered the mountain and river diagram. As soon as he entered the mountain and river diagram, Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the path understanding ancient tree. He closed his eyes and tried his best to resist the endless killing intent. The endless killing intent seemed to be able to drown Lu Ming at any time, turning him into a killing machine. The blood light on his body was shining, but slowly, it faded back into the 3rd bloodline. He sat there for half a month. Half a month later, the power of the 3rd bloodline was completely retracted into the 3rd bloodline and back to Lu Ming's spine. At the same time, he dispelled the endless killing intent in his heart. At this moment Lu Ming finally opened his eyes. There was no longer any killing intent in his eyes, only clarity. Oh! Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. It was really a close call this time. He was almost devoured by the killing intent in the 3rd bloodline. The 3rd bloodline was a double-edged sword. One had to be extremely careful when using it. If one's cultivation wasn't high enough and they borrowed too much power, they would be drowned in endless killing intent. This time, it was fortunate that Dandan had made a move at the end. Otherwise he would have to borrow even more power. If that had happened, Lu Ming would very likely have been drowned by endless killing intent and become a killing puppet. At the thought of Dandan, Lu Ming looked to the side and happened to see Dandan lying there, gnawing on a stalk of spiritual medicine, looking very weak. Seeing that Lu Ming had woken up, Dandan's back claw kicked and landed on Lu Ming's shoulder, shouting, "Lu Ming, I've suffered a great loss this time. I've lost a lot of vitality. You have to give me the spirit herbs. Otherwise I won't let you off." "Alright, in the future, as long as I don't need any spirit herbs, I'll give them to you." Lu Ming smiled. He waved his hand and a pile of spiritual herbs appeared. Dandan's eyes lit up and she swallowed all the spirit herbs in one gulp, leaving them behind to eat slowly. "Brat, at least you still have some conscience." Dandan muttered a few words and then put on a smug look and said, "How is it? I'm invincible, right?" Chapter 1137. 1137 Chapter 1137 Bloodline Advancement. It is indeed very powerful. This time Lu Ming was full of admiration. Dandan could actually transform into such a huge turtle. It was extremely terrifying and could kill an 8th level spiritual god in seconds. Lu Ming was really shocked. "Don't make a fuss. Let me tell you, if it wasn't for the fact that this lord's strength is far from recovered, it wouldn't be just that little bit of strength. I'm the divine turtle of the world, the head of the top 10 war beasts. If I'm at my peak, I'll be as large as a world in my true form. Even a martial emperor can be blown to death with a single breath, let alone a mere 8th level spiritual god realm martial artist." Dandan was proud of himself. He felt very comfortable when he saw Lu Ming's expression of admiration. "Could it be that you've surpassed the emperor level at your peak?" Lu Ming asked curiously. At this point, Lu Ming naturally believed that this was a rebirth of a super expert. Otherwise, it was impossible for him to have such means. Of course. Which one of the top 10 battle beasts isn't invincible? Martial emperors are nothing. Take your 9 dragons bloodline as an example. If the 9 dragons were at their peak, they could devour the sun and the moon. Even the sun and the moon in the sky would be devoured by them. What martial emperors? They could devour a whole area with one bite. Dandan's face was full of confidence, then she sighed and said, "Other than me, I wonder if any of the top 10 battle beasts have survived. That battle back then." At the end of her sentence, Dandan sighed. Lu Ming pricked up his ears and listened carefully. Now, with Dandan's recovery, his memory seemed to have recovered a lot. He might even be able to hear some secrets from him that no one knew. Dandan cast a glance at Lu Ming and said, "Sai, I'm too weak. I need a good rest. And NBSP." After saying that, he ran away and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming was speechless. Then he moved and appeared on another mountain peak. The 2 8th level spiritual god realm elders' corpses were still lying there. A spirit god's corpse would not rot even after a few years or even decades. Unfortunately, my true chi and blood chi have already dissipated. Lu Ming sensed it and sighed slightly. He felt that it was a waste. However, the blood essence should still be there. Even if a year has passed since the death of an 8th-level spiritual god realm expert, the blood essence should still be there. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The 9-dragon bloodline emerged and the devouring power burst forth. A total of 18 blood essence pearls that looked like blood-red pearls flew out and were devoured by the 9 dragons. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and began to refine them. The blood essence and power of the 2 8th-level spiritual god realm martial artists were astonishingly rich. Lu Ming began to refine them with all his might. Around the 9-dragon bloodline, there were 7 golden chakra, which were extremely dazzling. As the power of blood essence was refined and integrated, the 7 golden chakras shone more and more brightly. After a moment, there was a sudden buzz and another pale golden chakra appeared. The 8th golden chakra. The 9-dragon bloodline had advanced by another level, advancing to the divine level rank 8 bloodline. The bloodline of the 9 dragons roared, and its body rapidly grew in size and length. It was twice as large as before and it was even more powerful and mighty. Collect. With a single thought, the 9-dragon bloodline shrank rapidly, turning into a ray of blood-red light that seeped into Lu Ming's spine. As expected, there's an extra dragon energy. Wait, this dragon energy is so strong. Lu Ming sensed a little and his eyes lit up. The advancement of the 9-dragon bloodline also gave birth to one more dragon energy. However, Lu Ming felt that the 8th dragon energy was very powerful, comparable to the sum of the previous 7 dragon energies. In fact, Lu Ming had already discovered before this that each dragon energy would be stronger than the previous one. However, the extent of the strength was limited and not too exaggerated. However, the 8th dragon energy was much stronger than the 7th. An 8th-level divine level bloodline is indeed extraordinary. No wonder only those who have awakened an 8th-level divine level bloodline can be called second-grade prodigies in the central continent. A 7th-level divine level bloodline is much weaker than an 8th-level divine level bloodline. Lu Ming pondered in his heart and a smile appeared on his face. The stronger his dragon power was, the stronger his combat power would be when he used it. Lu Ming was looking forward to what kind of changes would happen when his 9-dragon bloodline advanced to the highest level, the 9th level of the divine level. How strong would his dragon energy be? There was a huge difference between a level 9 divine level expert and a level 8 divine level expert. The difference between a heaven's favorite of a big shot and a second-grade heaven's favorite could be seen. If the 9 dragons bloodline and the prison-suppressing steel bloodline were both promoted to divine level 9, how powerful would Lu Ming's combat strength be? If Lu Ming were to unleash all his dragon power now, he would definitely be able to defeat the other powerful prodigies like Dark Child and the 3-headed Hellhound easily and quickly. After that, Lu Ming kept the 2 8th-level spiritual god realm elders' storage rings. Then, with a wave of his hand, flames spread out and turned the 2 elders' corpses into ashes. Who sent people to kill me? Lu Ming furrowed his brows in deep thought. At first, he thought that it was Xie Qitian who had sent people to kill him. However, those people said that they were going to kill Xian Yanqing after killing him. This made Lu Ming speculate that it was not Xie Qitian. If Xie Qitian wanted to kill Xian Yanqing, he would have done so long ago. Why would he wait until now? Lu Ming guessed that it was someone else who had sent someone. Could it be Xie Zhen? However, does Xie Zhen have such great power to mobilize an 8th-level spiritual god realm expert? Lu Ming pondered. There were more than 10 princes under Xie Qitian. Xie Qitian's talent was average, so he might not have that much power. There's probably someone else helping Xie Zhen. Could it be Xie Qiyu? This was because only these 2 people wanted Lu Ming dead the most. At the same time, Xie Zhen had previously sent someone to assassinate Xian Yanqing. Therefore he was the most likely to be the one. Xie Zhen. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with killing intent. This person was someone Lu Ming had to kill. After thinking for a while, Lu Ming exited the mountain and river diagram and continued in the direction of the depths of the Abyss Demon Realm. This time Lu Ming slowed down. Along the way he encountered many Masha clansmen who attacked him. They were all in the Spirit Embryo Realm. There were those in the 7th, 8th and 9th level of the Spirit Embryo Realm, but Lu Ming easily killed them all. However, not a single point appeared on the Jade Token. Did Xie Qitian lie to me? A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes as he continued to fly. A day later, Lu Ming had no idea how far he had traveled. A city appeared in front of him. From a distance there were people on the city. It was a human race martial artist, not a Mo Sha. This should be a gathering place for humans. Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he flew toward the city. If there were people, they could ask them about Xian Yanqing. As Lu Ming approached, the people in the city noticed him and looked at him coldly. It's the human race. On the city wall, someone muttered, his eyes bright. Who are you? Someone on the city wall asked. I've just entered the Abyss Demon territory. Please let me in. Lu Ming said. I'm new. The eyes of the person on the city wall brightened. Since you're a human, come in. Lu Ming nodded. He flew up the city wall and headed into the city. This city wasn't big and there were even fewer people on the ground. At a glance, other than the more than 100 people on the surrounding city walls, there were less than 200 people in the city. All of them were sitting cross-legged on the top of various buildings, as if they were cultivating or meditating. Chapter 1138. 1138 Chapter 1138 Scam. As soon as Lu Ming flew into the city, many pairs of eyes looked at him. He's a newcomer. It's not the time for the royal family to send people to hunt down the Mo Sha clan yet. It seems that this person has offended the royal family and was exiled here. He's so young. Hee, I'm afraid he's a heaven's favorite from some force. He must have a lot of money on him. Leave this person to me. I need raw gemstones. He said. Bullshit, who doesn't need raw gemstones? This kid is mine. Voices rang out all around as they stared at Lu Ming with burning eyes. Naturally, Lu Ming heard these voices as well. He furrowed his brows and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. It's mine. A burly figure rushed out with an angry roar. He raised his hand and slammed it down on Lu Ming. The space trembled continuously and a powerful force surged toward Lu Ming. This was a first-level spiritual god realm expert. You're looking for death. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he struck out with his palm. His palm was like a heavenly blade, cutting into the man's palm. With a cracking sound, the man's palm bone was broken by Lu Ming. He screamed and retreated frantically, looking at Lu Ming in horror. This person has some skill. Let's attack together. Kill. Someone shouted and 7 to 8 figures pounced on Lu Ming. These 7 to 8 figures were actually all spiritual god realm experts. Some were at the first level of the spiritual god realm, while others were at the second level. The highest one was at the third level of the spiritual god realm. The 8 of them attacked at the same time, and the momentum was extremely shocking. All kinds of attacks covered Lu Ming's entire body. If it were an ordinary third-level spiritual god realm martial artist, he would have been injured or even suppressed under the siege of so many experts. However, how could Lu Ming be compared to an ordinary third-level spiritual god? Activating the prison suppression heaven art, he struck out 8 palms in a row. Bang, bang, bang. There were 8 explosions, followed by the sound of bones breaking and a series of screams. The 8 figures spat out blood and fell back, heavily crashing into the surrounding buildings. Regardless of whether it was the first level, second level, or even the third level spiritual god realm expert, they would all end up the same. Lu Ming had shown mercy. Otherwise they would have all died in one move. Everyone in the surroundings gasped and looked at Lu Ming in shock. It was too terrifying. With just one move, he had severely injured all 8 experts, including the third-level spiritual god realm. What kind of combat strength was this? Moreover, he looked so young, which was even more unbelievable. Could it be a heaven's favorite of the big shots outside? Someone said with a trembling voice, causing everyone to shiver. At this moment, no one dared to make a move. Although there were several hundred people in this city, it was impossible for all of them to be at the spirit god realm. In fact, most of them were at the spirit embryo realm, and there were only a dozen or so people at the spirit god realm. Lu Ming's cold gaze swept across the surroundings. When those people met Lu Ming's gaze, their hearts trembled and they did not dare to look directly into his eyes. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared above the third-level spiritual god realm expert. It was an old man with white hair and a thin body. He looked at Lu Ming in horror. Lu Ming's palm contained a terrifying power, but it did not explode. He had a feeling that if it had, he would have been dead. Young hero, please spare my life. This old man was momentarily confused. The old man begged for mercy. Tell me, why did you attack me the moment I entered? Lu Ming asked coldly. Well, we were forced to do this. Young hero, you must have just entered the demon realm of Tartarus, right? Let me explain it to you in detail. The thin old man sighed and began to explain in detail. As it turned out, these people had offended the royal family, or they were people who belonged to the ancient Saint dynasty. Because of their mistakes, they had been exiled to the Abyss demon realm and were forced to kill the Masha clan to atone for their sins. However, there were countless members of the Masha clan in the demon realm of Tartarus, and they were everywhere. It was very dangerous. As for human warriors, they absorbed and refined the demonic chi very slowly in the Abyss demon territory. As time went by, the raw stones they brought would be used up. If they refined the demonic chi too slowly, it would be very disadvantageous for them when they fought the Devil clan. Sometimes it wasn't them who hunted the Devil clan, but the Devil clan who hunted them instead. They had no choice but to gather together and build a city to resist the Devil clan. This was also the reason why Lu Ming could see this small city. And what was the most precious thing to the people of the Abyss demon realm? Of course, the raw gemstones were the most precious. Therefore, when they saw that Lu Ming had just entered the Abyss demon realm, they were naturally greedy and wanted to take his raw gemstones. To put it bluntly, they were just a group of pitiful people. All of you can leave now, I won't make things difficult for you. Lu Ming waved his hand and dismissed the few people who had attacked, leaving only the old man behind. The skinny old man had the highest cultivation level among them, so he should be the leader. Young hero, do you have any other orders? The skinny old man looked at Lu Ming, feeling a little uneasy. To be honest, he had lived for so many years, but he had never seen such a terrifying young expert. Let me ask you, the reason why the royal family banished you here and ordered you to hunt down the Mo Sha clan was to obtain points, right? Once you have enough points, they will let you go, right? Lu Ming asked. That's right, that's indeed the case. However, the points are just a scam. The skinny old man gritted his teeth. A scam? What was going on? Why didn't I get any points from killing the Devil clan? Lu Ming asked. Young hero, the royal family told you, how many points do you need to get out? The skinny old man asked. 10,000. Lu Ming said. 10,000. The skinny old man's eyes suddenly widened. He gasped and his face was full of disbelief. Lu Ming frowned, waiting for the elder to continue. Haha, young hero, in my opinion the imperial family has no intention of letting you out. They want to lock you up here for the rest of your life. The old man said with a bitter smile. What do you mean? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Young hero, you still don't know how to get points, right? Let me tell you, killing a demon clan below the spiritual god realm doesn't give you any points. You can only get points by killing a spiritual god powerhouse or above. Killing a first-level spiritual god will earn you 1 point. Killing a second-level spiritual god will earn you 2 points. Killing a third-level spiritual god will earn you 3 points, and so on. Killing a 9th-level spiritual god will earn you 9 points. Killing a perfected spiritual god will earn you 10 points. Killing a supreme being from the Masha clan will earn you 100 points, and killing an emperor-level Masha will earn you 10,000 points. The skinny old man explained. Damn it. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly and his eyes were filled with killing intent. He understood that he had been tricked. Xie Qiqian, a dignified sage emperor, had actually lied to him. According to this point conversion, how could he possibly obtain 10,000 points? Killing a first-level spiritual god from the Masha clan was only worth 1 point, while killing a perfected spiritual god was only worth 10 points. Even a supreme being from the Masha clan only had 100 points. This meant that he would have to kill 100 supreme beings in order to accumulate 10,000 points. Also, an emperor-level Masha would give 10,000 points, but killing an emperor-level Masha. Let's not even talk about whether there was an emperor realm Masha clan in the Abyss demon territory. Even if there was one, Xie Qiqian might not be able to do it himself, so how could Lu Ming? Chapter 1139. 1139 News of Xian Yanqing. Perhaps Lu Ming would never be able to obtain 10,000 points in his entire life. They wanted to lock Lu Ming up in the Abyss demon territory for the rest of his life. What a ruthless and brilliant method. Lu Ming's body exuded a cold killing intent, causing the thin elder to shiver. We'll talk about everything after we find little Qing. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief and retracted his murderous intent. Senior, do you know the whereabouts of the 16th princess, Xian Yanqing? In the end, Lu Ming asked the question that he wanted to ask the most. The demon realm of Tartarus was too big, and it was no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. This old man had been here for many years, so he might know something. The 16th princess? Are you talking about the princess with the royal bloodline? The skinny old man said. Not bad. I have some impression of her. The 16th princess was exiled to the Abyss Demon territory 3 years ago. When she first came here, her cultivation was still weak, so she stayed in the periphery of the Abyss Demon territory for a while. Later she stayed in this city for a whole year. I'm quite familiar with her. Sigh, it's a pity that the royal family treated such a rare and proud daughter of heaven like that. What do you want from her? The skinny old man said. He let out a long sigh as if he was feeling sorry for Xian Yanqing. Upon hearing this, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. I'm her friend. Senior, do you know where she is now? I don't know. The skinny elder shook his head. The royal family asked the 16th princess to have the same amount of points as you. She asked for 10,000 points. That's why she left this place and went deep into the Abyss Demon realm after her cultivation improved. Gotcha. The old man's words made Lu Ming clench his fists tightly. The killing intent in his heart could no longer be suppressed and burst out. Lu Ming's heart was very uncomfortable. His killing intent towards the royal family, Xie Zhen, and Xie Qiqian was extremely strong. They were going to lock Xian Yanqing up in the Abyss Demon territory for the rest of his life. Especially 3 years ago, when Xian Yanqing's cultivation base was only at the spiritual ocean tier, they had locked him up in the Abyss Demon domain. One could imagine how much he had suffered and encountered danger in the past few years. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart was in pain. But now, Xian Yanqing had already entered the depths of the demon realm. Where was he? Lu Ming's thoughts drifted and he only calmed down after a long time. Senior, you can take these raw gemstones. Lu Ming gave the skinny old man a storage ring, which contained tens of thousands of raw stones. Then he soared into the sky and left the city, heading toward the depths of Abyss Demon territory. There were also days and nights in the demon realm of Tartarus. During the day there was a dark sun hanging in the sky. At night, there was a blood moon in the sky. Moreover, when the blood moon was in the sky, the demonic chi between heaven and earth would be extremely dense. At that time, the fiend clan and demonic beast would be stronger, while the human clan would be suppressed. The blood moon hung high in the sky, and the demonic chi was vast and mighty. However, it did not affect Lu Ming much. The 9-dragon bloodline burst out, and the rolling demonic chi was devoured and refined into essential core in a flash. Lu Ming flew at high speed, deep into the Abyss Demon territory. There would definitely be more human warriors in the Abyss Demon territory. There must be other places where humans gathered in the depths of the Abyss Demon territory. Lu Ming planned to find out more about the human gathering place. Whoosh, whoosh. A sharp sound pierced through the air. A few black figures whizzed over and charged toward Lu Ming. The 3 fiend clan members were all extremely ferocious. They held bone spikes in their hands and charged at Lu Ming at a terrifying speed. Their auras were also very powerful. These were 3 first-level spiritual god realm demons. The blood moon hung high in the sky. It was extremely dangerous to walk in the Abyss Demon territory, because many of the Masha clan would move out, and demons would dance in chaos. Roar! The 9 dragons roared, and the devouring power enveloped the 3 fiends. They couldn't move at all, and their eyes were filled with fear. Then the 9 dragons devoured the energy and blood essence of the 3 demons, turning them into 3 dried corpses. The 9 dragons had advanced to the 8th level of the divine level, and their devouring power had undoubtedly become even stronger. After killing the 3 first-level spiritual god realm demons, the jade token finally changed. A number appeared on it, 3. Lu Ming sneered coldly. Killing a first-level spiritual god realm demonic Sha clan member would only earn him 1 point. Compared to the terrifying 10,000 points, what was the use? Lu Ming continued to move toward the depths of the Abyss Demon territory. In a short while, the blood essence of the 3 first-level spiritual gods was completely refined by Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the energy and blood essence of the first-level spiritual god realm were naturally of no use to him. In this way, Lu Ming advanced for 3 consecutive days. Along the way he encountered more than a dozen attacks. There were attacks from the Devil Clan and the demonic beast here, but there weren't many that were above the spirit god realm. Most of the attacks he encountered were from the spirit embryo realm. In 3 days, Lu Ming had crossed thousands of mountains and rivers. Die. The human race. Kill him. A A sharp voice rang out in front of him. Lu Ming could tell that it was the voice of the Masha clan. Following that, a series of rumbling sounds came from ahead. It was clear that an intense battle had taken place. Lu Ming did not hesitate and flew toward the source of the sound. It had been 3 days and they were finally going to meet humans again. On a mountain range, 7 or 8 Mo-Sha clansmen were attacking a middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's cultivation was extremely profound. He was at the 4th level of the spiritual god realm, and he was fighting against 7 or 8 of the Fiend clan. However, the 7 or 8 demons were all experts. The weakest among them was at the 2nd level of the spiritual god realm. The others were at the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm, and one was at the 4th level. The large man was at a disadvantage with so many of the Fiend clan members joining forces. He could only block and not fight back. Break. The burly man fought back with all his might, killing a 2nd-level spiritual god realm Masha clansman with a single blow of his axe. However, his back was also slashed by a 4th-level spiritual god realm Masha clansman's bone spur, causing blood to flow out. He mustered up all his strength and broke out of the encirclement, fleeing forward. Behind him, the other Mo-Sha clan members were chasing after him. The direction that the middle-aged burly man was running in was Lu Ming's direction. The middle-aged man saw Lu Ming after flying for a distance. "Little brother, let's go," the middle-aged man shouted. However, Lu Ming stood in the air, motionless. "Little brother, let's go. There are experts from the Devil clan behind us." Seeing that Lu Ming did not move, the middle-aged man shouted again anxiously. The corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled into a faint smile. This middle-aged man was kind enough to remind him to leave. If it were an ordinary person, he would have used Lu Ming as a shield to buy himself some time. "It's just a few Mo-Sha clansmen, there's no need to escape." With a smile, Lu Ming's 9 dragons bloodline emerged and the devouring power erupted with a loud bang, enveloping the entire Masha clan. Then, under the middle-aged man's horrified gaze, the bodies of the rest of the Masha clan quickly withered, except for the 4th-level spiritual god realm. In the end, they lost their vitality and turned into mummies. Whoosh! With a snap of Lu Ming's fingers, a ray of spear radiance flew out and killed the 4th-level spiritual god realm Masha clan member. His blood essence and energy were also devoured by the 9 dragons. Chapter 1140. 1140 Kill them all. This. The middle-aged man's eyes widened and he was stunned. 7 spiritual god realm Masha clansmen, with the highest being at the 4th level of the spiritual god realm, were killed by Lu Ming in an instant. The middle-aged man suspected that he was dreaming. Moreover, Lu Ming looked so young. His combat strength was simply unimaginable. "Big brother, it's settled." Lu Ming smiled and kept the 9 dragons bloodline. He split a part of his attention to begin refining. "Small? You're amazing, you're really amazing. I'm impressed." The middle-aged man stuttered and sighed. Lu Ming smiled and did not say much. "I'm Dushan. What's your name, little brother?" The middle-aged man said. "Lu Ming." Lu Ming answered. "Brother Lu, I have something important to do. I can't accompany you anymore. Little brother, you have to be careful." After Dushan finished speaking, he was about to fly in a direction. "Big brother Du, what do you want? Maybe Lu Ming can be of help." Lu Ming stopped Dushan. It was not easy for them to meet another human warrior. Lu Ming was just about to ask him about Xian Yanqing. How could he let Dushan leave so easily? "Ah, the human clan's gathering place I'm at is being attacked by the Devil clan. I received the news and wanted to rush back to help, but I didn't expect to be blocked by the Devil clan here." Dushan sighed and was slightly anxious. "A gathering place of the human race? I'll go with you." Lu Ming's eyes lit up. "All right, with little brother's help, we might be saved." Dushan's eyes also lit up. Lu Ming's combat strength was unfathomable and extremely powerful. He had the intention to ask Lu Ming for help, but Lu Ming had just saved his life and asked him to take the risk with him. He was too embarrassed to ask. Now that Lu Ming had taken the initiative to ask, he was naturally overjoyed. At that moment, Dushan led the way while Lu Ming followed Dushan. They flew at top speed towards the north. After flying for hundreds of thousands of miles, he heard heaven-suppressing battle cries. In the distance, a fortress made of a strange metal could be seen. Around the fortress, an intense battle was taking place. There were over 1,000 of them surrounding the fortress. Among them there were many existences with powerful auras. Lu Ming used his spiritual senses to scan and discovered that there were dozens of spiritual god-level Masha clan members. The rest were advanced-stage spiritual embryo Masha clan members. There were only a few people in the fortress, about 20 or so, and all of them were spirit god powerhouses. They were fighting against the devil clan, but they were clearly at a disadvantage. Human, go to hell? With a shrill scream, one of the Mo-Sha clansmen had a particularly powerful aura. He held a black and sharp bone spur in each hand, and his body was like a lightning bolt as he charged toward a human expert. The human expert had a cultivation of the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm. However, he was unable to put up any resistance against the devil clan. The bone spike pierced through his glabella, and he was killed without even being able to let out a miserable cry. Peak 5th level spiritual god realm. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that this person from the demonic Sha clan had a cultivation at the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual god realm. He was the strongest existence in the demonic Sha clan. As for the human martial artists, the strongest was only at the 4th level of the spiritual god realm. Damn it, kill! When Du Shan saw this, he shouted and charged forward with his battle axe. Another one is here to die. The 5th level spiritual god realm fiend clansman's eyes were cold as he swept his gaze at Du Shan. He sneered and his demonic chi rolled. He flapped his pair of spikes and pounced toward Lu Ming like lightning. A battle axe floated above Du Shan's head. It was Du Shan's bloodline, a 4th level divine level bloodline. Du Shan transformed into a battle axe and slashed at his opponent. Ding, 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 ding. 2 crisp sounds rang out. The battle axe that Du Shan had transformed into was sent flying far away. Die! The devil clan member shrieked. The bone spike in his hand was thin and long, but it was extremely hard and sharp. It seemed to be able to pierce through everything as it stabbed towards Du Shan. Buzz, buzz. 2 teeth-numbing sounds rang out as the bone spikes of the Mo-Sha clan pierced through the battle axe Du Shan had transformed into. An angry roar came from the battle axe. The battle axe trembled and dispersed, turning back into Du Shan's figure. His face was pale as he retreated quickly. Die! The devil clansman's eyes were cold. The bone spur pierced through the air, aiming for Du Shan's forehead. Right at this moment, a palm that was like a blade suddenly appeared and slashed at the bone spike. A terrifying power erupted, and the bone spike was broken into dozens of pieces with a clang. The palm blade cut horizontally and struck the shoulder of the demon Sha. Bang! The devil clansman's shoulder exploded, and he was sent flying like a cannonball, killing a few spirit embryo realm devil clansmen. Roar! The 9 dragons roared, and the devouring power burst forth, enveloping the Masha clansmen. The energy and blood essence of the spirit embryo realm demons were instantly devoured, turning them into dried corpses. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level spiritual god realm demons screamed in horror and turned into mummies under the devouring power. The human warriors were all stunned. As for the remaining Mo-Sha clansmen, they roared madly and wanted to escape. However, under the terrifying devouring power, they felt as if they were stuck in a quagmire and could not move at all. Kill? Lu Ming rushed past them and cut down all the Masha clan members as if he was cutting grass. Buzz! The 5th level spiritual god realm Masha clansman was only injured but not dead. He flapped his wings and turned into a demonic light, trying to escape. He knew that a top human expert had come, and that one move had severely injured him. If he didn't escape, he would die. However, he was shocked to find that he could not escape at all. Lu Ming's figure was like a flickering light and a passing shadow. He caught up with the 5th level spiritual god realm Masha clan in an instant and appeared behind him. Let's die together. Torrential rain massacre. Seeing that they couldn't escape, the devil clansman let out an angry roar. His demonic chi soared into the sky, and he spread his wings. His entire body began to spin in the air. Its wings were like 2 sabers that cut through the air, bringing with them a storm of attacks. It was like a terrifying tornado that could destroy everything as it swept towards Lu Ming. 2 streams of dragon power burst forth in Lu Ming's body. He then executed the prison-suppressing heaven technique and struck down with his palm. This palm strike was like a heavenly blade, possessing the power to suppress everything. Boom! The storm of attacks from the Masha clan collapsed instantly. The palm blade landed on the body of the Masha clan, killing him. All his energy and blood essence were devoured by Lu Ming. In the castle, the humans' eyes were wide open as if they had yet to react. Brother Lu Ming, thank you for saving me again. Otherwise, sigh. Du Shan walked over to thank Lu Ming, his voice full of emotion. If not for Lu Ming, he would have been dead. At this time, the human warriors in the castle finally reacted and flew over to thank him. They were even more shocked when they saw that Lu Ming had such combat abilities at such a young age. I've heard that there are many heaven's favorites in the outside world. The 5 magnates are the most powerful ones among the young generation. But in my opinion, Brother Lu, I'm afraid you're even stronger than the 5 magnates. An old man with white hair sighed. Every year, some people would be exiled here by the royal family. They had stayed in the demon realm for a long time, so they knew some things about the outside world. Chapter 1141. 1141 Chapter 1141 Devil Tablet Mountain. Lu Ming said that he did not dare to and then chatted with everyone for a while. Through their conversation, Lu Ming learned that these people, without exception, had offended the royal family or the powerful figures of the ancient Saint dynasty. There were even experts from the overlord forces among them. They might not know each other in the outside world, but they were very united in the Abyss Demon realm. If they didn't work together in the Abyss Demon territory, they would eventually be defeated by the Fiend clan and buried here. Similarly, the imperial family had set points for them. As long as they could complete it, they would be let out. However, the height of the points made people despair. However, they were all experts of the spiritual god realm and could live for 5,000 years. They were not willing to be locked up in the Abyss Demon territory for the rest of their lives. Therefore, they held on to the hope that they could accumulate enough points and leave this place. Therefore, they would constantly hunt down the Devil Clan, and in turn the Devil Clan would kill them. That was why the Devil Clan had attacked the city today. In reality, it was common for the Fiend Clan to attack cities. However, the Fiend Clan that had come today was slightly stronger and there were a lot more of them. Little brother Lu, let's have a chat in the castle. Du Shan invited. No need, but I do have a question that I would like to consult with all the seniors. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. What question? There's no harm in just saying it. As long as I know, I'll definitely tell you. The others chimed in. Dear seniors, have you seen the 16th princess? Lu Ming asked. The 16th princess, are you talking about the 16th princess who has the bloodline of the royal family? I've not seen her, but I've heard that she's in the demon realm of Tartarus. Du Shan pondered for a moment and said. Many others also shook their heads. I've met Princess 16 once. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat when he heard the voice. It was the white-haired old woman. Senior, when was it? Where have you seen it before? Lu Ming asked anxiously. About a few months ago, about a few million miles away from here. I talked to the 16th princess and she said she wanted to go to the Devil Tablet Mountain. The old woman replied. What? The Devil Tablet Mountain? The others all gasped. Lu Ming's heart tightened and he said, The Devil Tablet Mountain? Is it very dangerous? It is indeed dangerous, Brother Lu. The Devil Tablet Mountain is a forbidden area in the 9 Serenities Devil Domain. Many powerful Devil Clan members have entered it, but they all died there. Humans are no exception. There's no exit. Du Shan sighed. There's no exit. Lu Ming started to feel anxious. Why would Xian Yinqing go to such a dangerous place? Seniors, do you have a map to the Devil Tablet Mountain? Lu Ming said. Brother Lu, you want to go to the Devil Tablet Mountain? It's really dangerous there. Although the inside of the Devil Tablet Mountain is extremely dangerous, there are many powerful Mo Sha clan members around the mountain. They cultivate in the outer area of the mountain and hope to get some opportunities. Therefore, the outer area of the mountain is also very dangerous. Little brother, you must be careful. The white-haired old woman persuaded. Thank you, seniors, but Lu Ming must go to the Devil Tablet Mountain. Lu Ming's tone was firm. Now that he knew of Xian Yinqing's whereabouts and that he might even be in danger, he had to go even if it meant going through mountains of daggers and seas of flames. Seeing Lu Ming's firm attitude, Du Shan, the white-haired old OU, and the rest heaved a long sigh and did not try to persuade him anymore. In the end, the white-haired old OU took out a map and gave it to Lu Ming. The map was very rough, but it roughly depicted the terrain and location of some parts of the Abyss Demon territory. On it was the general route of the 9 Nether Demon Tablet Mountain. Thank you, senior. Lu Ming will take his leave. Lu Ming kept the map and bade everyone farewell. He did not want to delay any further. Lu Ming turned into a ray of light, passing through the night sky and heading in the direction of the Devil Tablet Mountain at top speed. On the way, Lu Ming cast the illusionary breath technique and darkened his aura, making it somewhat similar to the aura of the Masha clan. Indeed, it saved him a lot of trouble along the way. The number of Masha clan members who attacked him was greatly reduced. Lu Ming's speed was very fast. He was hurrying along. A few months ago, Xian Yinqing went to the Devil Tablet Mountain. He should have been there by now. The Devil Tablet Mountain was so dangerous. How was Xian Yinqing doing? At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart was burning with anxiety. He could not wait to rush to Xian Yinqing's side. The Devil's Tablet Mountain was in the depths of the Abyss Demon territory. It was very far from the castle where Du Shan and the rest were. At Lu Ming's speed, it took him 5 days to reach the area where the Devil's Tablet Mountain was. That's... Lu Ming stood high in the sky and looked into the distance. He was a little shocked. This area was filled with mountains. There were all sorts of strange plants growing in the mountain range. However, there was a mountain peak that stood out among the mountains. It could be seen at a glance even from a great distance. It was because the mountain peak was too majestic. It was like a group of cranes standing among the mountains. It was high up in the sky and no one knew how high it was. The mountain was shrouded in black mist, and it was impossible to see the specific situation of the mountain peak. Is that the Devil Tablet Mountain? Lu Ming pondered in his heart, his eyes filled with shock and doubt. Ever since he got close to this place, he felt that the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel in his body was emitting a hot aura, as if it was about to appear from his spine. What's going on? Why did the Devil Tablet Mountain cause the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline to change? Lu Ming could not understand. Let's go. With a thought, Lu Ming flew toward the huge mountain that was filled with black mist. As they got closer, they could feel the magnificence of the giant mountain even more. The other peaks were also considered majestic and tall, but when compared to this peak, they were far inferior. The change in the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline also became more intense. What? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He felt a strong fluctuation in front of him. It was not just one but several. Each of them contained a powerful demonic might, and there were experts from the Mo Sha clan. Lu Ming restrained his aura to the extreme and flew forward. That human girl has obtained a treasure in the Devil Tablet Mountain. We cannot let that treasure fall into the hands of the human race. Let's attack together and kill her. Let's go together. That human girl has been surrounded and can't escape. She must die today. The treasures of the Devil Tablet Mountain belong to our Devil clan. A few shriveled and unpleasant sounds rang out as a few figures flew past in front of him. They were all from the demonic Sha clan, and their auras were very strong. With a quick glance, Lu Ming discovered that a few of them were at the 6th level of the spiritual god realm. Could the person they're talking about be Little Qing? Not good. Lu Ming's expression changed and he followed the 3 demons from a distance. Boom. Boom. Chi-chi. Not long after, a violent roar came from the front, as well as the sound of sharp weapons piercing through the air. The battle was still ongoing. This made Lu Ming's heart relax a little. In front of them, a few Mo Sha clansmen increased their speed and flew over like lightning. They flew over a few mountains and joined the battle while roaring. Not good. Using the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, Lu Ming's figure crossed the last few hundred miles in an instant and arrived at the battlefield. In front of them, more than a dozen powerful demons were attacking a human woman. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat when he saw the woman. The woman was wearing a long black dress. Her beauty was unparalleled. Who else could it be but Xian Yinqing? Chapter 1142. 1142 Chapter 1142 Meeting Yinqing again. Who else could the beautiful lady in front of him be other than Xian Yinqing, whom Lu Ming had been thinking about day and night? It had been more than 3 years since Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing parted ways in 9 Dragons. After not seeing him for 3 years, Xian Yinqing had matured a little, but he had also lost some weight. His face and eyes were very cold. At this moment, Xian Yinqing's body was filled with demonic qi. He gently pressed his palms and a terrifying force field spread out in a radius of 100 miles, destroying everything. At the same time, there was a beautiful woman sitting on top of Xian Yinqing's head. She was surrounded by demonic power and demonic chi. She sat cross-legged on a black lotus and kept striking out with her palms to block the attacks from all directions. This was Xian Yanqing's bloodline, the third bloodline. It was very similar to his second bloodline, but there were 9 golden chakra rings around his body. Divine level 9th rank bloodline. Moreover, Xian Yanqing's cultivation had also entered the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm. There were 11 people attacking Xian Yanqing. The 11 fiend clan members were all at the 6th level of the spiritual god realm. Each of them held a bone spike in their hands and attacked Xian Yanqing fiercely. Xian Yanqing's fearsome force field covered an area of 100 miles. The speed of the fiends was greatly affected. Even though Xian Yanqing focused on defense, he was still at a disadvantage. If this continued, defeat was imminent. Little girl, hand over the demonic statue and I can leave your corpse intact. Otherwise, you will end up in a miserable state. This human girl is really a national beauty. Even I'm tempted by her. After I capture her, I'll let her have a taste of my power. A series of unpleasant and ear-piercing sounds rang out. You're looking for death. At that moment, the killing intent in Lu Ming's heart exploded. In his body, the 8 dragon powers suddenly burst out, filling his body with an extremely powerful strength. Lu Ming took a step forward and charged into Xian Yanqing's force field like a black spear. He activated the prison-suppressing heaven technique and threw a punch at one of the demons. This devil clansman had never thought that someone would attack him at this time. He reacted and wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Bang! Lu Ming's punch landed directly on the back of the Masha clansman. A terrifying force exploded, piercing a large hole in the Masha clansman's body and killing him in one blow. When Xian Yanqing heard the commotion, he thought that more reinforcements from the Fiend clan had arrived, so he instinctively looked in their direction. When she saw Lu Ming's figure, her delicate body trembled and her eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, her gaze was completely focused on Lu Ming. She could not move her eyes away. Buzz. A sharp sound was heard as it approached Xian Yanqing. Be careful. Lu Ming was shocked and furious. He rushed towards Xian Yanqing at top speed. At this moment, one of the demons seized the opportunity to attack Xian Yanqing. After Lu Ming's shout, Xian Yanqing finally reacted. He activated his force field and retreated quickly. However, he was still a step too late. His shoulder was pierced by the sharp bone spur of the Fiend clan. A small wound appeared and blood flowed out. You're looking for death. Lu Ming let out a long howl as his 3rd bloodline emerged. A trace of energy surged into Lu Ming's body, causing his hair and eyes to turn blood red. Kill? His 3rd bloodline turned into a combat sword. Lu Ming held the blood-colored combat sword in his hand and used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps to appear in front of the sneak-attacking Fiend clan member. He slashed out with his sword, and a sword light burst forth, directly splitting the 6th-level spiritual god realm expert into 2. Lu Ming. Xian Yanqing did not care about his injuries. His eyes were still fixed on Lu Ming. He did not want to look away. She was afraid. She was afraid that all of this was just an illusion, a dream. Once she looked away, everything in front of her would disappear. She had already lost count of how many times she had had such a dream. Little Qing, I'm here. Lu Ming reached out and held Xian Yanqing's small hand. Xian Yanqing's hand was cold. The heat from Lu Ming's palm was transmitted to Xian Yanqing's small hand. Xian Yanqing's body trembled and tears welled up in his big eyes. Lu Ming, really? Is it really you? I'm not dreaming? Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming in a daze. His little hand clutched Lu Ming's big hand tightly, as if he was afraid that Lu Ming would disappear if he let go. Idiot, it's really me. Let's kill these Fiend clan members first. Lu Ming said gently, then scanned his surroundings. Lu Ming's sudden appearance and his lightning-fast killing of 2 of the Masha clan's experts shocked the other Masha clan members. They retreated far away and did not attack for a while. He's also a human at the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm. Just now he launched a surprise attack and killed the 2 of us. There's nothing to be afraid of. If we join forces, it's enough to kill them. One of the Mo Sha clansmen said, his eyes cold. That's right, let's attack together and kill. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The remaining 9 demons attacked at the same time. The bone spikes in their palms pierced through the air and shot toward Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Sky Devil Force Field. Xian Yanqing finally collected his thoughts. With a shout, he pressed his palm and a terrifying force field exploded. After 3 years, Xian Yanqing had awakened his third bloodline and his cultivation had reached the third level of the spiritual god realm. Her force field seemed to have made a breakthrough and become even more terrifying. The demonic energy field enveloped the area. At the same time, there was a terrifying destructive power in the energy field, which greatly reduced the speed of the Masha clan. However, Lu Ming was not affected at all. This intent. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He realized that Xian Yanqing's intent realm was more powerful than before. It was a terrifying demonic intent realm. Without much time to think, Lu Ming stepped forward. His killing intent was like a tide as he charged towards the Masha clan. He realized that the 8th dragon power was indeed powerful. Now that all 8 dragon powers were unleashed, his combat power was even stronger than before. Buzz. Lu Ming appeared in front of one of the Masha clansmen. His cold killing intent enveloped him, causing the Masha clansman to shudder. Whoosh! The blood-red sword light slashed toward the fiend clansman. The terrifying power shocked the fiend clansman, and he hurriedly blocked it with his bone spur. The bone spur was broken with a clang. With a flash of sword light, the arm of the demon Sha was cut off. The Masha clansman was horrified. He wanted to escape, but Lu Ming's second sword attack was launched. Puchi! Blood spurted out and a head flew high into the air. A 6th-level spiritual god realm demonic Sha clan member was killed in an instant. If Lu Ming were to deal with a 6th-level spiritual god realm demonic Sha clan alone, it would not be so easy to kill him without a sneak attack. It would most likely take some effort. However, with Xian Yanqing's help, killing a 6th-level spiritual god realm Mo Sha was a piece of cake. Buzz. After killing the one from the Masha clan, Lu Ming went on to kill another. At this moment, the two of them seemed to have returned to the past, back to the time when they were adventuring together in the East Continent. At that time, the two of them had also cooperated like this. The cooperation between the two of them was already very tacit. Chapter 1143. 1143 Chapter 1143 You finally came. Lotus Sword kill? Xian Yanqing shouted. Black lotus flowers appeared around her. The petals formed a black lotus sword in the sky and attacked the fiend clan. Each of the lotus swords was terrifyingly powerful. With intent lingering around them, they cut through the sky and directly cut open a hideous hole in the space. The fiend clan members could only divert their attention to block the lotus swords, and their combat strength was once again affected. Puchi. Lu Ming rushed over and killed another Masha clan member in less than 2 moves. Not good. The cooperation between these two is too terrifying. Some of the Mo Sha clansmen cried out in fear. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's cooperation was terrifyingly powerful. It was not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Their combat strength had increased by several times. The Devil clan retreated. What are you afraid of? Let's attack together. At this moment, an ear-piercing sound was heard. Not far away, a terrifying sharp light flew over, emitting a powerful aura. 7th-level spiritual god realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This was a 7th-level spiritual god realm demon. When they discovered that a 7th-level spiritual god realm fiend had appeared, the other fiend clan's confidence increased greatly. The 7th level of the spiritual god realm was much more powerful than the 6th level. Kill? Kill? The Masha clan tried their best to break through the force field and charged toward Lu Ming. Whoosh! The 7th level spiritual god realm fiend immediately charged at Xian Yanqing. He could already tell that Xian Yanqing had too much influence in the group battle. It would be much easier to deal with Lu Ming after dealing with Xian Yanqing. The 7th level spiritual god realm Masha clansmen charged into the heavenly demonic force field, emitting a demonic shriek as they collided with the force field, bringing with them a series of flames. However, he still broke through the force field and charged towards Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing waved his hands and the black lotus sword flew towards his opponent, but it was also deflected by his opponent's bone spurs. Kill? At this moment, Lu Ming's figure moved and appeared in front of the 7th level spiritual god realm Masha clansman. He slashed out with his blood-red combat sword and collided with the other party's bone spur. With a ding, Lu Ming and the other party retreated at the same time. The Masha clansman was taken aback. He did not expect Lu Ming to be so powerful. He was only at the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm, but he could actually force him to retreat. Roar! The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared above Lu Ming's head. Lu Ming combined his bloodline and transformed into 9 dragons. The 9 dragons roared and their devouring power burst forth. Together with Xian Yinqing's force field, they enveloped the Masha. At the same time he used the 9 dragon step and charged toward the devil clan. On the other side, Xian Yinqing also used bloodline fusion and turned into a magnificent otherworldly demon. His demonic power was vast, and his force field was even stronger. He pressed down with his jade-like hand, and a black jade-like palm print pressed toward the fiend. Boom. Boom. Facing the joint attack of the two, the 7th-level spiritual god realm Masha clan was forced to retreat and spit out large mouthfuls of blood. Prison guard kill? With the 9 dragon steps, every inch of his body was able to unleash the strangle hell heaven technique. The dragon claws swiped down and the dragon tail swept down. It was extremely terrifying. Moreover, Lu Ming had once comprehended a true dragon combat technique from the myriad elephant jade wall of the Tianxia Academy. When they worked together they were even more powerful. Bang! Blood kept spurting out of the mouth of the devil clansman. His last wing was torn off by the 9 dragons' claws. Then, the sky demon that Xian Yinqing had turned into slammed his palm on the chest of the fiend, almost splitting him into pieces. Although he didn't die, he was half dead. No, no. Run. The devil clansman roared and wanted to escape. At this moment he was extremely frightened. He had never expected that 2 ants at the 3rd level of the spiritual god realm would be so powerful. The 2 of them had joined forces and actually beat him, a 7th-level spiritual god realm existence, to the point where he had no power to fight back. However, it was too late for him to escape now. Bang! The 9 dragons' dragon claws swiped down and smashed into the head of the devil clansman, piercing through his head. A 7th-level spiritual god realm martial artist died. Run! The hearts of the remaining Mo Sha clansmen almost stopped beating. This was too terrifying. An expert in the 7th level of the spiritual god realm had died just like that. It had only been a few moves. All of you stay. The 9 dragons roared, and the devouring power spread rapidly, engulfing the rest of the devil clan. At the same time, Xian Yinqing's demonic force field expanded and enveloped all the demons. Roar! With the 9 dragon steps, he instantly appeared in front of one of the Masha clansmen. With a swipe of his claws he killed the man. The sky demon that Xian Yinqing had transformed into also stepped forward and slapped down with her jade-like palm. One of the fiend clan members was torn apart. With the 2 of them working together, killing a 6th-level spiritual god realm demonic Sha was as easy as chopping vegetables. No matter how much the fiend demons roared, it was useless. They were all killed. In less than a minute, the remaining demons were all killed, and their blood essence and energy were all devoured by the 9 dragons. At that moment, the 9 dragons shrunk rapidly and turned back into Lu Ming. Xian Yinqing also kept his blood meridian. The 2 of them stood in the air and looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with longing for each other. Lu Ming! Xian Yinqing exclaimed. After the battle, Xian Yinqing was finally sure that everything was real and not a dream. Lu Ming had really come to the Abyss Demon territory and she had really seen him. At the same time the 2 of them walked toward each other. They were very close to each other and they stared at each other. Xian Yinqing couldn't hold back the tears in his eyes anymore. They flowed down his cheeks. Little Qing. Lu Ming reached out and wiped away the tears on Xian Yinqing's face. Lu Ming, you're finally here. Xian Yinqing pounced into Lu Ming's arms. Lu Ming hugged Xian Yinqing tightly as if he wanted to pull Xian Yinqing into his body and never separate. Little Qing, let's leave this place first. Lu Ming said. A great battle had just taken place here, so who knew when the devil clan would come again? Xian Yinqing nodded. Lu Ming held Xian Yinqing's hand and randomly chose a direction to fly in. After traveling more than 100,000 miles, Lu Ming found a hidden place and the 2 of them entered the mountain and river diagram. An estate world treasure? Xian Yinqing blinked his eyes. Okay, little Qing, you should heal first. Lu Ming asked in concern. Xian Yinqing's shoulder had been stabbed just now and it was not a light injury. Xian Yinqing nodded, sat down cross-legged and began to heal. Half a day later, Xian Yinqing's injuries were completely healed. On a mountain peak in the mountain and river diagram the 2 of them sat side by side. Xian Yinqing's head was on Lu Ming's shoulder as they chatted about their experiences during this period of time. The 2 of them had not seen each other for more than 3 years and had too many things to say. Lu Ming told him about his experiences over the past few years. Xian Yanqing's heart was in turmoil. Every time he heard that Lu Ming was in danger, Xian Yanqing would exclaim softly and worry for Lu Ming. At this moment, Xian Yanqing had completely turned into a little woman. She leaned on Lu Ming's shoulder and hugged his arm. She would not talk back to Lu Ming, but she would also shout and want to step on him. She just wanted to listen to Lu Ming quietly. That was enough. Chapter 1144. 1144 Reunion after a long separation. When Lu Ming told him about how he came to the Holy City, participated in the competition of the younger generation, and how he entered the Abyss Demon territory, Xian Yanqing's eyes flashed with a trace of coldness. Lu Ming, you've been deceived by them. Like me, it's very difficult to get 10,000 points. Then he looked at Lu Ming affectionately and said, Lu Ming, why are you so silly? It's all because of me that you're in this place. You fool, if I didn't come here to find you myself, I wouldn't be at ease. By the way, did you come here after you came back from 9 dragons? Lu Ming asked. Xian Yanqing nodded and said, when I first came back, Xie Qitian sent someone to send me to the Abyss Demon territory. Unfortunately, although they knew that my bloodline was inclined to darkness, they didn't know that my bloodline was the heavenly demon bloodline. In the Abyss Demon territory I was like a fish in water. My cultivation speed was faster than the outside world. Moreover, I've awakened the 3rd bloodline. Using the demon chi and demon stones, my cultivation speed was even faster. At this point, Xian Yanqing's voice turned cold. He seemed to be filled with hatred for the Xie family. Lu Ming tightened his grip on Xian Yanqing's arm. One could imagine that Xian Yanqing had been struggling and cultivating alone in the Abyss Demon territory for the past few years. He had been walking on the edge of life and death. Otherwise he would not have such a high cultivation level. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart ached. Lu Ming, I'm so happy that you're here. Xian Yanqing's voice whispered in Lu Ming's ear. Lu Ming's head turned slightly. He looked at the beautiful face that was right in front of him and felt Xian Yanqing's gentle breathing. He could only feel his heart beating rapidly. This unpolished face was peerless and alluring. The faint smile that was brimming on her face seemed to be Lu Ming's everything. The two of them had not seen each other for a long time, so they naturally had a moment of warmth. It's really painful to the eyes. After an unknown period of time, a sudden cry interrupted the two of them. The two of them opened their eyes at the same time and saw Dandan not far away, staring at them with her eyes wide open. Xian Yanqing's face turned red. Even his ears and neck were red. Continue, you guys continue, don't worry about me. When he saw the two of them looking at him, Dandan said leisurely. Get lost. Lu Ming swung his palm, and a palm print condensed from quintessential essence blasted toward Dandan. Dandan was sent flying like a rock by Lu Ming's palm. Arg. Lu Ming, you're a guy who values your lover over your friends. No, I mean you're a guy who values your seniors over your friends. Dandan's voice came from far away. In the end it turned into a black dot and disappeared in the air. No one knew how far it had flown. After Dandan's ruckus, the two's boiling blood also calmed down. Lecherous. Xian Yanqing tidied up his messy clothes and said with a red face. Lu Ming chuckled and held Xian Yanqing's hand. Little Qing, why did those Emosha race attack you earlier? Because of a golem. Xian Yanqing said. Then a demon statue appeared in her hand. The demonic statue was very small, only the size of a fist, but it exuded a terrifying demonic will. This demonic will was arrogant and overbearing, as if it wanted to destroy the heavens and dominate the world. What a strong demonic intent. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. It was only a golem and it was already so terrifying. This golem was definitely a valuable treasure to cultivators of the demonic path or to the Fiend clan. No wonder so many powerful people from the Fiend clan wanted to surround Xian Yanqing. I obtained this devil statue from the Devil Tablet Mountain. Xian Yanqing said. Then he put away the golem and the pressure around him disappeared. Little Qing, did you really enter the Devil Tablet Mountain? I heard that it's very dangerous there and everyone who entered died. Although he knew that Xian Yanqing was fine, Lu Ming could not help but worry. I've heard that the Devil Tablet Mountain is indeed very dangerous. In the past, many Devil Clan and human warriors had died. However, I don't know why, but when I get close to this place I feel a strong throbbing in my heart as if I'm being summoned by something. There seems to be something on the Devil Tablet Mountain that is attracting me. That's why I took the risk and entered the Devil Tablet Mountain. But the strange thing is that I didn't encounter any danger when I entered the Devil Tablet Mountain. Instead, I obtained an opportunity and had a breakthrough in my cultivation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have my current cultivation and I would still be able to bring out this devil statue. Xian Yanqing said. You also have this feeling? What is it that is attracting you? Lu Ming was shocked. Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming in surprise. Don't tell me you have one too. That's right. Ever since I got close to the Devil Tablet Mountain, my second bloodline has been burning and restless. It's as if something is attracting it. If I didn't control it, it would have appeared on its own. Lu Ming frowned slightly. He felt that this was very unbelievable. Little Qing, what's in the Devil Tablet Mountain? I don't know. I was just walking around the outer area and didn't go in. The Devil Tablet Mountain was covered in fog and I couldn't see clearly. I was planning to study this devil statue before entering the Devil Tablet Mountain. Xian Yanqing said. Then the two of them discussed for a while more, but they still couldn't come to a conclusion. In the end they decided to go and explore the Devil Tablet Mountain. This was because there was no danger when Xian Yanqing entered. The two of them chatted for a while more before walking out of the mountain and river diagram and looking at the Devil Tablet Mountain in the distance. Even though they were very far apart, Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel bloodline still throbbed. As for Xian Yanqing, the bloodline at her spine was also emitting a faint blood-red light. Chapter 1145. 1145 Chapter 1145 Entering the Devil Tablet Mountain. The two of them concealed their auras and moved closer to the Devil Tablet Mountain. Along the way they sensed the aura of the Mo Sha clan, and the two of them went around them. The two of them were getting closer and closer to the Devil Tablet Mountain. The closer they got, the more the prison-suppressing steel bloodline in Lu Ming's body throbbed and felt hot. Soon the two of them were 100 miles away from the Devil Tablet Mountain. There was already a faint black mist permeating the air. The two of them didn't back off and continued to move forward. In the blink of an eye, they had crossed 100 miles and entered the Devil Tablet Mountain's territory. Mo. Suddenly, a loud roar rang in Lu Ming's mind. This voice was filled with a lawless feeling, but it also revealed a sense of helplessness and unwillingness. Black mist filled the air. With their cultivation they could only see within 20 meters. Moreover, there was a terrifying pressure on the two of them, making it difficult for them to fly. They could only land on the ground and walk forward. Little Qing, be careful. Lu Ming held Xian Yanqing's hand and walked forward carefully. Buzz. Lu Ming's spine was suffused with a blood-red light. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was beating continuously and it was getting stronger. Lu Ming controlled the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline and did not let it manifest. The two of them walked for half a day and felt that they were already halfway up the mountain. They were getting closer and closer to the peak. That throbbing feeling came from the top of the mountain. Xian Yanqing's presence here also had a strong attraction to it, and it made her bloodline throb. Ah, so many bones. All of a sudden, Lu Ming noticed that there were skeletons on the ground. The skeleton wasn't big and it was obvious that it was from the Devil Clan. It was rumored that many of the Devil Clan had died here. It seemed to be true. Furthermore, these skeletons all had storage rings on their fingers. Xian Yanqing grabbed a storage ring in the air. The next moment he took out a pile of black stones from the storage ring. The stones emitted a strong demonic qi. This is a demonic stone. It's very useful for those who cultivate the demonic path. To me it's even more useful than a raw stone. Xian Yanqing explained. There are many storage rings here. They might contain magic stones. Take them. They will be of great use to you when we leave this place in the future. Lu Ming said. He reached out and drew in the storage rings one by one, handing them to Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing cultivated the demonic Tao, so these demonic stones were most suitable for him. Xian Yanqing took them and kept them one by one. Then the two of them searched around and found many bones of the Mo Sha clan. Of course there were also the bones of humans, but they were very few. Devil. 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 At this point the sound became louder and louder. This sound was directly transmitted to the mind and not through the ears. It was as if there was a peerless demon emperor shouting and roaring from above. The two of them continued to move forward. Along the way they collected the storage rings of every Devil Clan skeleton they came across. Along the way they collected no less than 100 storage rings and a large number of demonic stones. Just these storage rings alone were a huge profit. After another half a day the two of them finally reached the top of the mountain. The two of them did not encounter any danger along the way. This made the two of them secretly amazed. The Devil Tablet Mountain was very dangerous and anyone who entered would die. This sentence could be verified by the bones of the Devil Clan and Human Clan along the way. However, the two of them had been very calm along the way. Other than the constant demonic sounds, there was no other movement. Buzz. When he arrived, Lu Ming's spine was filled with a bloody light. The prison-suppressing steel's blood meridian was beating wildly. Even Lu Ming himself could not suppress it. The bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel emerged with a loud vibration. It expanded rapidly and shook violently. Buzz. In front of them, on the mountaintop, there was a terrifying tremor. Then they saw the black fog roll and split into two. The scenery in front of them was completely exposed. Seeing the scene in front of them, their hearts trembled and they were dumbfounded. There was another stone tablet in front of him. A stone tablet. This stone tablet was extremely huge. It was like a majestic mountain. On the stone tablet there was only one big word tablet. There was only one word, tablet, at the top of the stone tablet. It was uneven, as if it was not a complete stone tablet, but only a part of it. The stone tablet was filled with an ancient aura. Its color was very similar to Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel bloodline. Buzz. Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel bloodline flew out and stopped in front of the steel. The two of them kept shaking and emitted a bright light as if they were responding to each other. Lu Ming, why do I feel that your bloodline is so similar to this stone tablet? It's as if they're one. Xian Yanqing was extremely surprised. Lu Ming himself was also extremely shocked. This was because he felt that this stone tablet gave him a very familiar feeling. He knew that the throbbing earlier had all come from this stone tablet. The two stone tablets trembled and brilliant light filled the air. The Masha clansmen around the Devil Tablet Mountain also noticed it. The strange movement of the Devil Tablet Mountain, could it be that a peerless treasure has appeared? It's a brilliant light. A peerless demonic treasure has appeared. Let's go and take a look. Figures gathered at the Devil Tablet Mountain one after another. Each of them exuded a mighty demonic aura. They were all experts from the Devil Clan. Even the weakest among them was at the 5th level of the spiritual god realm. There were even experts at the 7th level of the spiritual god realm. A group of Mo Sha appeared 100 miles away from the Devil Tablet Mountain. At this moment, the black mist on the top of the Devil Tablet Mountain became very thin. One could clearly see the huge stone tablet shining brightly. However, the Devil Clan stopped here and didn't dare to go any closer. The Devil Tablet Mountain's reputation wasn't just for show. Anyone who entered would die, so they stopped. However, when they saw the stone monument shining with a blinding light, the Devil Clan couldn't help but give in. Now that the Devil Tablet Mountain has changed, it might not be dangerous. That's right. I saw that human girl go in and bring out a devil statue. Nothing happened to it. It's time for the Devil Tablet Mountain to come out. Shriveled sounds rang out one after another, and the eyes of many of the Masha clansmen shone with a scorching light. Charge! A portion of the Mo Sha finally couldn't take it anymore and roared as they charged towards the Devil Tablet Mountain. As soon as they entered the range of the Devil Tablet Mountain, a voice rang out in their minds, "Devil! Devil! Devil!" The demonic sound filled his mind and was filled with a terrifying destructive power. A few of the 5th and 6th level spiritual god realm demons screamed in pain. Their bodies were like dumplings in a pot, falling from the sky and landing on the ground. They were no longer breathing. Dead. At least 20 of them had died in an instant. A few of the 7th level spiritual god realm demonic Sha clansmen roared and retreated frantically, blood flowing from their 7 orifices. It can obliterate souls. A 7th level spiritual god realm demonic Sha clan member roared and retreated hundreds of miles in fear. The other Mo Sha clansmen who didn't move forward were rejoicing. They were rejoicing that they had held back. Otherwise they would probably end up the same way. Chapter 1146. 1146 Chapter 1146 The true form of the prison-suppressing steel. At the top of the Devil Steel Mountain, Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel bloodline and the huge steel sensed each other. They emitted a bright light and trembled continuously. At this moment the shaking was getting more and more intense. Buzz. The huge stone tablet buzzed and the entire mountain shook. Huge rocks on the ground exploded and the stone tablet was rising slowly. The steel rose up as if it was going to leave the mountain with the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. Slowly the stone tablet rose up inch by inch. It seemed that a section of the stone tablet was embedded in the mountain. Boom. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying aura burst out from under the stone tablet. This aura was extremely overbearing and dominated the world. At the same time, a monstrous demonic chi filled the air, as if a supreme demon was about to be born. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing could vaguely see a tall figure under the stone tablet. It was a middle-aged man with a burly figure and long black hair. His demonic aura was overwhelming like a demonic god. The aura of an emperor. This is an emperor, a demon emperor. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He could feel the mighty pressure of an emperor from this figure. This was the pressure unique to an emperor. Could it be that there's an emperor suppressed under the stone tablet? A demon emperor. Lu Ming's mind whirred and he thought of many things. Haha, after so many years I can finally get away. The demonic figure let out an excited roar. Its terrifying aura surged and hit Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's five-colored concept surrounded his body. His essential core surged and his dragon power erupted to resist the pressure. The heavenly demon bloodline appeared above Xian Yanqing's head and blocked the aura. No, we can't let this demon emperor come out. Otherwise, little Qing and I won't be able to withstand a single slap from him. Lu Ming's mind turned and his eyes focused. His mind was completely immersed in the prison-suppressing steel's blood meridian. Come back here. Lu Ming roared in his heart. A bloody light spread out from his spine as he controlled the prison-suppressing steel bloodline with all his might, trying to retrieve it. Buzz. The blood meridian of the prison-suppressing steel trembled violently and was slowly pulled back by Lu Ming. Come back. Come back here. Lu Ming kept shouting in his heart. The blood-red light seemed to turn into a substance and his eyes were red. Whoosh. In the end, the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was pulled back by Lu Ming. It turned into a ray of blood light and flew into Lu Ming's spine, disappearing. Boom. The bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel was taken back, and the light of the huge steel dimmed and fell down again. No. An unwilling roar came from under the stone tablet. With a loud boom, the huge stone tablet came crashing down, and the entire mountain shook violently. The monstrous demonic aura also disappeared in an instant. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing felt their bodies lighten, and they let out a long sigh of relief. The two of them looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. The two of them did not expect that there would be a devil emperor suppressed on the Devil Tablet Mountain. No wonder all the Fiend clan members who entered this place had died. It must be the doing of this devil emperor. Lu Ming, the reason why I feel my blood throbbing and a strong attraction is most likely because of this demon emperor. Xian Yanqing muttered. It should be so. Lu Ming nodded. Xian Yanqing was here because of the demon emperor while he was here because of the huge stone tablet, a broken one. What is this stone tablet? Why does it have a connection with my bloodline? Lu Ming had many questions in his heart. Kid, use your bloodline and let me out. At this moment, a deep voice came from under the prison-suppressing steel. It was the demon emperor. Senior, you're the demon emperor while the two of us are only low-level spiritual gods. If we let you out and you kill us with a single slap, wouldn't we be in deep trouble? Lu Ming pondered for a moment and said, Haha, since you know that I'm the demon emperor, why would you do such a thing? You saved this emperor, so you are this emperor's benefactor. This emperor will definitely repay you generously. The demon empress continued to speak under the steel. That being said, I still don't trust you, Lu Ming said bluntly. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless in the face of an emperor. Otherwise he would be killed with a single slap. There was silence under the stone tablet as if they were thinking about what to say. After a while, the voice spoke again. Kid, your bloodline should be the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel, right? I didn't expect that someone in this world could really awaken such a bloodline. Lu Ming's eyes flashed but he did not say anything. Kid, let me tell you. The steel in front of you is the real prison-guarding steel, the original body of your bloodline. The demon sovereign's voice was heard, causing Lu Ming's heart to tremble. What? Is this broken steel the real prison-guarding steel? Lu Ming's eyes widened suddenly. He was in shock and he looked at the huge stone tablet in front of him in disbelief. Otherwise, why do you think your bloodline can resonate with this stone tablet? Because they were originally one. The demon empress continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were shocked. It was said that the bloodline awakened by all martial artists could be traced back to the world. It was real. Some of them might have gone extinct in the immemorial era and had never appeared again. Some could be found in the modern era. Lu Ming initially thought that the prison-suppressing steel might be an ancient item from a long time ago. He did not expect to see the real body in this world. This made it difficult for him to calm down. It is said that the prison-suppressing steel was a supreme divine object in the distant past. It was broken into several pieces in a great battle. The one in front of you is a fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. The prison-suppressing steel can suppress all living things in the world. If not for this steel, how could it suppress me? The demon sovereign explained Lu Ming's doubts. His tone revealed his unrivaled confidence. So, as long as you control your bloodline, you can take this prison-guarding steel away. If your bloodline is integrated with the real prison-guarding steel, you will obtain great benefits and a supreme divine item. If you can collect all the other pieces of the prison-guarding steel in the future, you can use this treasure to dominate the world. The demon empress continued to speak. Her words were filled with temptation. Lu Ming was indeed very tempted. There was a hint of passion in his eyes. Bloodline was just a bloodline. It could be said to be illusionary and had a part of the power of a real object. It could also be said to be a kind of inheritance. For example, warriors with the true dragon bloodline could comprehend the true dragon's combat skills and borrow part of the true dragon's power. The stronger they were, the stronger the power they could exert. However, it was not the true body, so it could not be as powerful as the true body. However, with the help of his main body, it was a different story. Lu Ming did not expect that he would encounter the true form of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. Now that he had encountered it, he really did not want to miss it. Lu Ming furrowed his brows tightly, various thoughts running through his mind rapidly. To release or not to release? Lu Ming could not make a decision. If he let the demon sovereign out and the demon sovereign went back on his word, they would be in real danger. Chapter 1147. 1147 The Sovereign of Chaos, Xiao Wan. Seeing that Lu Ming seemed to be moved, the demon sovereign continued, "Moreover, this girl's bloodline is very similar to mine. If I come out, I can pass on all my skills to her. With her talent, she will become an emperor in the future. She might even surpass me in the future." The demon empress continuously tossed out temptations. Moreover, they were all temptations that were difficult to refuse. The legacy of a demon empress was definitely a great temptation. "Lu Ming, you decide." Xian Yanqing held Lu Ming's hand and said, "Little Qing, it wasn't easy for me to find you, so how could I take you on an adventure? You don't have to take these worldly possessions." Lu Ming held Xian Yanqing's hand and was about to walk back. "Come back, what are you doing? Or do you not trust me? I, Xiao Wan, am actually the kind of person who goes back on his word?" Seeing that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were about to leave, the demon emperor panicked and shouted continuously. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing shuddered at the same time. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. "Xiao Wan? Xiao Wan, the sovereign of chaos? How was that possible?" The two of them turned around again and looked at the huge stone tablet. "You're Xiao Wan." Xian Yanqing opened his mouth, his eyes filled with disbelief. Xiao Wan, the unparalleled figure of the royal Xia family 30,000 years ago, was also a taboo of the royal Xia family. With his power alone, he had changed the entire central continent's situation from the ancient Saint dynasty to today's divided lands. He was an alien bloodline of the Xia family, just like Xian Yanqing. However, this was a figure from 30,000 years ago. How could he still be alive? "That's right, I'm Xiao Wan, the sovereign of the chaotic heavens. Nua, your bloodline is very similar to mine, and you're also a variant of the Xia clan's bloodline, right?" Hehe. The demon empress smiled meaningfully. "Impossible. As far as I know, emperors can only live for 10 to 20,000 years at most. If you are Xiao Wan, how could you still be alive?" Lu Ming said loudly. When the steel floated up, he had sensed the aura of life, not just a wisp of mark, which meant that Xiao Wan was still alive. How could an emperor live for 30,000 years? It's all thanks to the prison-suppressing steel. It suppresses my body and slows down the flow of my life by several times. 30,000 years is only about 10,000 years for me. If I'm suppressed for another 30,000 years, I'm really going to disappear. The Demon Empress explained with a sigh. However, Lu Ming's gaze was still uncertain. Lu Ming, what this person said should be true. I can sense that this person is from the same bloodline as me. Our bloodlines are very similar. Xian Yanqing whispered to Lu Ming. Was the other party really Xiao Wan? The two of them were still unable to calm down. It was said that Xiao Wan had rebelled and fought a great war with the imperial family. The battle was earth-shattering and countless experts of the imperial family had been killed by Xiao Wan. In the end, Xiao Wan had still been defeated and killed by the experts of the imperial family. Could it be that Xiao Wan did not die, but was instead suppressed here? Back then no one in the royal family could kill me. They could only suppress me here with the help of the prison-guarding steel, hoping that time would kill me. But they didn't expect that although the prison-guarding steel suppressed me, it also slowed down the loss of my life by several times. Boy, you and this girl from the Xie family must have been exiled here by the royal family, right? I can imagine that after what happened to me that year, the royal family and the Xie family must be more than 10 times more wary of foreign bloodlines. I'm surprised that they didn't kill you directly. The Demon Empress continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were silent. Do you want to be exiled to the demon realm of hell forever? As long as you let me out, I'll take you and break out of the abyss demon realm. Don't worry, I've always been a man of my word, and I'll always repay kindness and hatred. The Demon Empress continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were moved by his words. It was even more tempting than getting the prison-suppressing steel or the Demon Emperor's inheritance. The biggest problem they were facing now was how to get out. It was obvious that Xie Qiqian wanted to exile them here for the rest of their lives, trapping them in the abyss demon territory. However, Lu Ming still had many things to do. Di had besieged Mount Liangyi. His family and friends were all at Mount Liangyi. He had to get out. Alright, I'll let you out. In the end, Lu Ming decided to take a gamble. This was their only chance. Alright, you just need to control the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel and take it. That will do. The Demon Emperor's voice rang out. Buzz. Lu Ming did not hesitate anymore. With a thought, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline emerged. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared, it had a strong connection with the huge steel. It grew rapidly, shook continuously, and emitted a bright light. Collect. Lu Ming shouted and controlled the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline, trying to put the huge steel away. 111. The giant stone tablet kept shaking. The word, tablet, on it was glowing and it was almost identical to the word on the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. Be it the strokes or the aura, they were all the same. Lu Ming was certain that this was the true form of the prison-suppressing steel. It was a fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. The fragment of the prison-suppressing steel slowly floated up and rose into the air. Demonic chi filled the sky below. The burly figure appeared again, and a vast demonic might filled the sky. Collect. Break. Lu Ming shouted. The fragment of the prison-suppressing steel shook and flew into the sky with a loud bang. However, the demonic shadow below also flew out with the prison-suppressing steel and entered it. One could see that a huge demonic shadow was trapped in the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. What's going on? Lu Ming was a little surprised. I've been suppressed by the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel for too long. My demonic body is almost obliterated, and my demonic power is almost exhausted. The aura of the fragment and I have almost become one. Even if the fragment leaves the ground, it's still suppressing me. I can't get out unless I recover my cultivation to the Emperor realm. The Demon Emperor, Xiao Wan, sighed. I see. Then how will you help us get out of the Abyss Demon realm? Lu Ming said. It's simple. You just need to merge the fragment with your blood and put it in your spine. Then you'll have initial control over it. As long as you withdraw the suppressing power, I can get out of it. However, I can't go too far away from the fragment, or I'll still be suppressed by the suppressing power. Xiao Wan explained. Lu Ming nodded and began to control the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel to merge with the fragment. A moment later, the bloodline of the prison-guarding steel merged with the fragment. At this moment, the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel shrunk rapidly and merged with the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel. He could clearly see that the lower part of the bloodline was shining like a real entity, taking up about 1/3 of the area, while the upper 2/3 still looked unreal. This was the real fragment of the prison guarding steel. There was no mistake. Collect. With a single thought, the prison-suppressing steel turned into a ray of light and sank into Lu Ming's spine. Chapter 1148. 1148 Chapter 1148 Charge out. Then, with a thought, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared again. If I perform the bloodline fusion now and turn into the prison-suppressing steel, I'm afraid the power will be amazing. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He could feel waves of vast energy coming from the prison-suppressing steel's blood meridian. The level of the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline did not increase. It was still at divine level 7. However, Lu Ming could feel that its power was very shocking. If he used the bloodline fusion, it would not be weaker than a divine level 9th bloodline. It might even be stronger. My cultivation is still too weak, so I can't fully exert the power of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. As my cultivation improves, I'll be able to exert more power. Thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind and he smiled. This way, the fusion of the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline would become his most powerful trump card. I wonder if I'll be stronger if I use the prison-suppressing heavenly art. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. One could still see Xie Luan's figure at the bottom of the prison-suppressing steel, faintly discernible. Lu Ming's mind sank into the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. He adjusted the suppression power of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline on purpose, adjusting the suppression on Xie Luan. Buzz. The prison-suppressing steel shook, and Xie Luan stepped out of it and appeared in the air. Boom. A vast demonic might burst out and broke through the clouds. Haha, I'm finally out. Xie Luan laughed heartily. His long hair was loose and his brows were sharp and his eyes handsome. One could tell that he had been a peerless beauty in his youth, but now he seemed to have gone mad. Lu Ming could understand. A person who had been suppressed for 30,000 years would be considered lucky if he did not go crazy. After a long while, Xie Luan finally calmed down. He looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and said, "Let's go, I'll bring you guys out of here." A wave of demonic energy swept up Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Xie Luan took a step forward and appeared at the periphery of the Devil Tablet Mountain. Many of the Mo Sha clansmen looked at them in shock. It just so happens that I have some tonics that can help me recover some of my strength. Xie Luan's cold voice came out of his mouth. The next moment, a terrifying demonic chi exploded from his body, enveloping all the fiend clan members below. Not good, let's go. Ah, save me. Within the demonic chi, shrill screams were heard. Lu Ming saw many 5th and 6th level spiritual god realm demons turn into ashes without any resistance, turning into pure energy that was absorbed by Xie Luan. Xie Luan's body was like a bottomless abyss, constantly absorbing the energy. The few 7th level spiritual god realm demons were able to resist for a while, but as Xie Luan took a step forward, they exploded in the air one by one, turning into energy and being absorbed by Xie Luan. Xie Luan's skin was wriggling, and his aura was getting stronger. It's a pity that these Mo Sha are too weak. My immortal demon body can only recover a little. I'm still thousands of miles away from my peak. Xie Luan sighed. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were secretly shocked. The other party was indeed the demon emperor who had caused chaos in the world. He was truly terrifying. He had been suppressed for 30,000 years and had just come out, but his strength was still shocking. We can't stay here for long. I'm afraid the royal family and the Xie family will find out soon. Now kill our way out. Xie Luan's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He wrapped Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing in his demonic power and stepped forward at a terrifying speed, heading for the exit of the Abyss Demon Realm. In just a few moments they had covered an unknown distance. The city at the exit of the Abyss Demon Realm was already in sight. Above the city, there was a light barrier that enveloped the entire city. Looking down from the sky, there were powerhouses guarding the city. In a flash, Xie Luan, Lu Ming, and Xian Yanqing appeared in the sky above the city and struck down with a palm. A terrifying palm print hit the light shield. The light shield trembled violently, and a hole was created. Xie Luan rushed in. Who is it? Not good, a demonic creature has broken in. Roars rang out from the city, and powerful chis rose up and charged at Xie Luan. So many experts. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Those auras were all powerful, overbearing, and extremely terrifying. Many of them were at the 5th or 6th level of the spiritual god realm, and he could even sense many of them above the 7th level of the spiritual god realm. All of you shall become my nourishment. Xiao Wan's eyes were cold and his demonic chi was monstrous. He struck out with his palm, and a group of spiritual god realm experts exploded. They turned into rolling energy and poured into Xiao Wan's body. His aura grew stronger and stronger. Miserable shrieks continued to ring out as experts were killed one after another. Not good, this person is too strong. The experts were shocked and retreated frantically. You're looking for death. At this moment, a few terrifying auras rose from the depths of the city. A few figures appeared in front of them in an instant. So strong. He has surpassed the 8th level of the spiritual god realm. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The people who appeared later were absolutely terrifying. Their auras were strong and above the 8th level of the spiritual god realm. There were 2 whose auras were vast and unfathomable. 2 9th level spiritual god realm and 2 great circle spiritual god realm. Hee. Xiao Wan sneered and charged forward. Endless demonic chi condensed into a saber and slashed at his opponent. His opponent also exploded with powerful strength, and a terrifying attack poured towards Xiao Wan. The entire city was shaking and emitting a resplendent light. One after another, large formations were activated. If it weren't for these large formations, it would have already been destroyed. Ah! A scream was heard. A 9th level spiritual god realm expert's head was cut off by Xiao Wan. His spiritual god flew out and was swept up by demonic chi. Xiao Wan absorbed it and his aura grew stronger. The remaining 3 people's expressions changed drastically. They didn't dare to block it and instead retreated rapidly. Xiao Wan didn't give chase. He led Lu Ming and the other man toward the exit. Where do you think you're going? A majestic voice resounded. In the sky, a huge palm print was formed. It was as big as a mountain and it was filled with a mysterious aura. That aura was much stronger than the intent realm of heaven and earth. Paragon. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This was the attack of a supreme martial artist. A supreme being was also considered to be in the great circle of the spiritual god stage. However, a supreme being was already half a step into the martial emperor stage and possessed some of the martial emperor's might. Their combat strength was much stronger than other great circle spiritual gods. Xiao Wan's expression turned grave as the supreme martial artist made his move. The demonic blade in his hand exuded a terrifying demonic might. Chaotic heavens, demonic blade. Xiao Wan's saber slashed out, splitting the sky in half. The terrifying, pitch-black saber projection crashed into the giant palm. Boom. With a deafening boom, the giant palm was split open by the demonic blade, but Xiao Wan was also forced to retreat. In front of him, a white-haired old man stepped out. The aura of a supreme martial artist was revealed on his body. What kind of demonic being dares to barge into this place? The white-haired old man opened his mouth to speak, but before he could finish his words, he was stunned. His eyes were wide open as he stared at Xiao Wan, his eyes filled with fear, shock, and disbelief. What? How is that possible? The white-haired old man let out a roar of disbelief. Chapter 1149. 1149 Chapter 1149 Shock in the royal family. The white-haired supreme martial artist was completely stunned when he saw Xiao Wan. His eyes widened in shock and he momentarily forgot to attack. Seizing the opportunity, Xiao Wan led Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and dashed toward the exit. A few experts tried to stop him, but Xiao Wan sent them flying with a single slap. Xiao Wan, along with Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing, dashed into the door of light and disappeared. The white-haired supreme being only came to his senses after he watched Xiao Wan, Lu Ming, and the others disappear. Autarch, who is that person? How could he be so powerful? An expert flew over to the white-haired sovereign and asked. They were very curious. The white-haired supreme martial artist had clearly been able to stop the other party, but he had stopped at the critical moment. I have seen this person's portrait before. This person is the sovereign of chaos, Xiao Wan. The white-haired sovereign said in a heavy voice. What? The others widened their eyes in disbelief. Hurry up. The white-haired sovereign shouted and chased after the exit. The surroundings blurred and Lu Ming and the rest appeared from another door of light. This door of light was the entrance to the holy city. Kill? As soon as Xiao Wan appeared, he immediately charged upward. The demonic chi surged as it broke through all the barriers. Xiao Wan broke through all the barriers at the entrance and finally broke through the earth and into the sky. Selah. Xiao Wan tore open the space and stepped into the crack with Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing disappearing. At this moment, in the center of the sacred city, deep within the palace, Xie Qitian, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes. There was a look of shock and doubt in his eyes. What a powerful demonic chi and demonic power. This is the entrance to the abyss demon realm. Did something happen there? Xie Qitian mumbled. He then stood up and took a step forward. The space around him split open and he disappeared. In the next moment, he reappeared in the sky above the entrance of the abyss demon territory. At this moment, the white-haired supreme martial artist was rushing out in a hurry and happened to bump into Xie Qitian. Sage Emperor, bad news? The white-haired old man said in a panic. What's the matter? Xie Qitian furrowed his brows. He had a bad feeling about this. What could possibly cause a supreme martial artist to be in such a panic? Sage Emperor, it's Xiao Wan. I saw Xiao Wan. The white-haired sovereign said. What? Xie Qitian's eyes widened in shock. What did you just say? You're saying that the person who just charged out of the demon realm of Tartarus is Xiao Wan, the sovereign of chaos? Xie Qitian asked this question a few times, showing how shocked he was. They look exactly the same. I don't know if it's real or not. The white-haired sovereign said. Let's go and take a look. Even though Xie Qitian was a saint emperor and his expression remained unchanged, he lost his sense of propriety and became extremely anxious after hearing that it was Xiao Wan. Xiao Wan was a taboo of the royal Xie family. Back then, the royal Xie family dominated the central continent and even the divine wilderness continent. They were extremely prosperous and had many experts. However, because of Xiao Wan, their strength had plummeted and declined by an unknown amount. Now, if it really was Xie Luan, how could the imperial family resist him with their current strength? Xie Qitian hurriedly entered the abyss demon territory and tore through space. Soon he arrived at the Devil Tablet Mountain. Xie Qitian stood in the sky above the Devil Tablet Mountain and looked at the empty mountain. A terrifying aura emanated from his body. 30,000 years, how could he still be alive? Xie Qitian mumbled to himself. Buzz, buzz. The space rippled, and two old men appeared beside Xie Qitian, exuding a vast emperor's might. Near the Devil Tablet Mountain, there were still some scattered powerful beings from the Masha clan. When they felt the terrifying aura in the sky, they all fled for their lives. The Devil Tablet that suppressed Xiao Wan has disappeared. Could it be that Xiao Wan is still alive? How is it possible that he hasn't died in 30,000 years? An old emperor said in a trembling voice, revealing a trace of shock. In the past, they had heard about the strange phenomena of the Devil Tablet Mountain, but they didn't pay much attention to it. They thought that it was just a trace of Xiao Wan's demonic will. After all, how could an emperor live for 30,000 years without dying? This seemed to go against the rules of heaven and earth. They had no idea that the steel that suppressed Xie Luan was the prison-guarding steel, nor did they know that the prison-guarding steel had actually slowed down the rate at which Xie Luan's life was flowing away. Xiao Wan is simply heaven-defying and can't be measured with common sense. Moreover, the guard said that he brought Lu Ming and Yanqing with him. This must be related to them, said Xie Qitian. His voice was filled with coldness. Your Majesty, what do you plan to do? An old emperor asked. Even if Xiao Wan is still alive, he can't be completely fine after being suppressed for 30,000 years. His vitality must have been greatly damaged, and his strength must have been greatly reduced. Otherwise, with Xiao Wan's character, he wouldn't have fled in such a hurry. Use the Heaven Secrets instrument and lock onto Xiao Wan's Lu Ming's location. At the same time, spread the word to all the overlords and forces to kill Lu Ming. Those who succeed will be rewarded with a tribulation-transcending heavenly treasure. At this moment, Xie Qitian had already regained his calm, reenacting the bearing of a generation saint emperor. At first he wanted to say, Xiao Wan, but he changed his tone and said, Lu Ming. He had a vague feeling that this matter had something to do with Lu Ming. In the past, Xian Yanqing had been in the abyss demon territory for so long, but there had been no trouble. However, Lu Ming had only been in there for a short time, and now there was such a big mess. He did not believe that this was a coincidence. Yes, your majesty. The two old emperors bowed. Xiao Wan brought Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing along as they tore through space. After 7 or 8 consecutive times, Xiao Wan stopped, his breathing weak. I've been suppressed for 30,000 years and my vitality has been greatly damaged. My demonic body has almost collapsed, and I don't have much strength left. The supplements I absorbed before were too weak and I've almost used them up. I can't help you anymore. Xiao Wan sighed. How can Senior recover? Lu Ming asked. I need supplements. I'll naturally recover by hunting experts. If I can kill an emperor, I might be able to recover my emperor's strength. Xiao Wan smiled. Lu Ming was speechless. Kill the emperor? Forget it, he didn't want to die. Of course there are other ways. Although I was suppressed back then, I still have a backup plan. Take me to the border between the central continent and the east continent. I have a backup plan there. If I go there, I can recover some of my strength and I can protect myself. Xiao Wan said. Lu Ming nodded. It was normal for a person like Xiao Wan to have a backup plan. Then Xiao Wan gave Lu Ming an address. He turned into a beam of light and disappeared from Lu Ming's spine, entering the fragment of the prison suppressing steel. Let's go. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing looked at each other and flew toward the east. However, the two of them suddenly stopped after flying for a short while. This was because there was suddenly an endless flash of light above Lu Ming's head. These lights then gathered together and formed a spherical object. There were waves of mysterious fluctuations that spread into the distance. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.